Center del Sol. Thanks for joining us, everybody, as Arizona gets ready to take on the Washington Huskies. Scheduled kickoff time is 2:30 right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Thanks for joining us as we get you ready for the game. We'll bring Kelvin Efon and Glenn Howell on in just a sec. Let's look back at the last time the Arizona Wildcats took the field, taking on the Oregon Ducks in Tucson, and it was all Bo Nix running rampant in Tucson last time out.
They've been averaging 8 yards per rush tonight. Here's Nix, play fake, rolling right with the run. 20, 15, 10, 5, and Nix into the end zone with his third rushing touchdown of the night.
Wow. It's just, there's not much you can say about it. Arizona has really struggled with everything that Oregon's done tonight. And that was just, again, it was a run-pass option. And Bo Nix pulled the ball down, found an opening to the right, just went untouched into the end zone.
So Oregon goes on to beat the Arizona Wildcats last week 49-22. Arizona has one more game before the bye, taking on the University of Washington this afternoon in Seattle. Let's bring in our Arizona letterman, Kelvin Efon, the captain. Good morning, sir. Do I got Kelvin on with me? All right. Go ahead and go. You know what? Here's what we're going to do, guys. Hold on just a second. I have a little technical issue. Back in the studio, can we take a quick timeout and come right back and get this thing going? We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We've got more coming up here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Matherin between the rings. Over for Krisa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Krisa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for two. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
Fourth down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff. Into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out, the locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments for the University of Arizona Wildcats?
Fourth down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on fourth down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's hot! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the field. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his third foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down. That was from midcourt. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ballgame. Matherin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center.
Radio 1290. Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, now we've got everything ready to go. Along with Captain Kel Mafon and Glenn Howell as we get you ready for the game. All right, time now to take our first look at the ball game. It's brought to you by The Window Depot.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. Here is Rich Herrera.
All right, guys, as we get you ready for the ball game today, let's take a look at what we're looking at as far as the University of Arizona goes. Last week, Arizona took on Washington, and we had the highlight of Bo Nix, and Washington was just able to march the ball down the field time after time after time and finish drives. Arizona didn't. Jed Fish was asked about this week. Here's cut 2 of Jed Fish. Arizona needs to finish some drives.
Watched the game film again on Sunday a couple times through. Saw, really kind of on the offensive side of the ball, first 6 possessions, which was what we had at half. We scored on 3 of the 6, fumbled the ball on the 7-yard line. Missed the ball down the sideline to T-Mac and missed the ball on 3rd and 11 to Dorian. Other than that, I think that we moved the ball pretty much the way we wanted to in that first half. First opening drive, first and goal on the 7-yard line, put the ball on the ground, get a stop, drive down, get a field goal. And then series 3 and 4, we had, I think, a 6-play series and a 9-play series, and then Series 5, we scored a touchdown. In Series 6, we kicked a field goal. So pretty happy with overall kind of how we moved the ball. Disappointed that we didn't score. I think that we probably were in a position to be able to get 20 or 27 points there in the first half and didn't. Only ended up with 13. And then in the second half, drove down the first drive. Had Jacob Cowling on a choice route, which he ran a beautiful route, was wide open there, and we wound up getting the ball tipped up in the air and picked. And that's kind of when the game went sideways. I think that it went from 35-13, driving down to 42-13, and then we drove down to the 14-yard line, had a sack fumble. So that was disappointing offensively. Overall, we can be much better than that. I expect us to be able to finish those drives in the end zone and not turn the ball over twice inside the 15.
Well, you're talking to a guy that was the Pac-10 touchdown leader. It's all about finishing in the red zone. You have to come up with some type of package. You have to come up with an offense that you know that are going to get you the points that you need. You can't win with field goals, and you can't win with just drives and getting yards. You win with scoring touchdowns. So that's something that they have to clean up. Yes, he's right. They're moving the ball. But bend don't break is the way most of these defenses are working now. So they kind of give up those yards. But when they get close to that goal line, that red zone, it seems like those defense tighten up, and that we have to find out a way to penetrate it.
Yeah, and that's you're absolutely right, Kelvin. Is that we we have to be able to find the plays. What plays are going to be successful inside the 20? We got to change the game plan. We got to make sure that we understand that these guys have to have the mindset, because Larry Smith, they used to have us in the mindset when we get inside the 20, it's pay dirt. We have to get in. We have to get in. So our mindset is by any means necessary of getting there. And we got to know how to move the chains when we're inside the 20, even inside the 20. Not just always go for move the chains.
It's a different
and
game.
Live another down.
All right, so if this game turns out to be the track meet that most people are anticipating, Jed was asked about this on Thursday. If you get into this thing where you're going to have to drive down, do you change your mindset? Do you change your game plan? Do you change anything if it turns out to be you need to get into the 40s to win this ball game? Here's Jed Fish, cut 3.
Watched the game film again on Sunday a couple times through. Saw, really kind of on the offensive side of the ball,
Hold on a second.
first 6 possessions, which was what we had at half. We scored on 3 of the 6, fumbled the ball on the 7-yard line, missed the ball down the sideline to T-Mac, and missed the ball on 3rd and 11 to Dorian.
I'm sorry, guys. Let me get the right cut queued up for you. Let's go to cut 3. This is Jed talking about having to score every time you get the ball.
What I would want our offense to think about is do everything you can to score every time. That should be your mindset. That you shouldn't feel pressure that if you don't, or if it doesn't happen, that outcome is going to be affected immediately. But we want them to go out on the field with a confidence that the goal and our responsibility as an offensive team is to score. And then let's just take, not a look at the scoreboard every 3 minutes. Let's look at the scoreboard at the end and see how many times we were able to execute our number one goal, which is to drive the ball down and score.
Yeah. If you're an offensive player, you better have that mindset, man. I mean, offense is for scoring.
That's
so
the point.
I think that's an assumed thing that you should have. But I think we got to have a different more. It's got to be a mental, physical. You got to get more physical inside the 20. That is smash mouth football. That's what we have to be able to understand, is that it's getting tight in there. You ain't got much room to work. So how you going to get out of that little elevator? You're going to fight your way out of it. So that's what we have to think about doing.
It usually, Rich, is 2 ways that you can do it. You throw a jump ball, as an offense, you throw a jump ball to a T-Mac, or over the middle to the big fella, was it McClanahan?
The new tight end.
The new tight end. Yeah. Throw it to him. Or the only other way, Rich, is to load up with your tight ends and bully ball and force your way in there.
And you have people that could do that with DJ Williams.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. DJ Williams and Jonah Coleman. I would have both of those guys in at the same time.
We have downhill 1 and downhill 2.
Man.
And by the way, Michael Wiley will be ready to play if needed, but he has an oblique strain. I don't expect to see him playing today. So Jonah Coleman will start today for the Arizona Wildcats at running back, and we're going to get plenty of DJ Williams, I think, as well.
Man, that's going to be exciting for me. I was a big bruising type of running back. I love that type of physicality as far as running the ball. I feel like it makes statements, Rich. When those guys run the ball, it makes the defense firm. It makes the defensive coordinator firm. So it's going to give our receivers a chance to be one-on-one.
Absolutely. All right, one more before I let you go, and then we're going to get to the right way rundown. If it does turn out to be this track meet, that's a mentality that Washington is going to come in with their head coach, Kalen DeBoer. He talks about what their goals are as they get ready to take the field each week. Here's cut 4, Kalen DeBoer.
I mean, I think the fourth quarter when I think it's those moments that are in, the end of the game when you're down 7. I feel like our offense is going to feel like they can and should score over 40 points, every game. And so, but it isn't about what that looks like at the end. It's about what you just, that's where the 1-0 mindset is so important. You just focus on that play. Let's not get caught up in how we're going to get a 40-point touchdown. That doesn't exist. Let's talk about how we're going to get a first down. Let's talk about how we're going to get the first touchdown. And so they're in the right mindset. So I kept telling the whole team, the game's going to keep coming back to you. Like, we're good enough, and we're going to keep putting pressure. We're going to make plays somewhere. Devon Banks getting an interception, and all of a sudden, at some point, the other team's going to make a mistake too. And, we make a play and we get the short field and a lot of momentum going in our direction. And we're just going to keep playing team football, keep trusting and believing. But, I think that, that's where we're at as far as the team with our mindset.
So, guys, they're prepared for a track meet.
Yeah. And I really think that what they're going to do is they're going to just run the ball, and then they're going to run to pass. Because they're going to say, well, hey, you can't stop. I know you guys can't stop the run, so we're going to run the ball, and then if we have to pass, we're going to have to pass. And they're going to limit us in possessions.
Yeah, and Penix is a real good quarterback. I think he's very smart with the ball, so he's going to pick very accurate. He's going to pick his spots. But, yeah, I think they're going to run the ball right at us and try to force us to keep Delora off the field. I mean, again, if I'm a team playing against us, play keep away versus Arizona. Why would you want Delora to get on the field and get going?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I think they're going to try to keep it away from us. And that's what we should be doing to them.
And I'll say this too, Rich. Washington understands who Delora is from that Apple Cup. So they understand the animal that they're dealing with because, again, I think he's going to step up. I think this is a special game to him. He played at Washington State. This is a special game to him, the Apple Cup game, right? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
This is a special game, so I expect him to play well, but they better keep him off the field.
Absolutely. All right, that's our first look at the game brought to you by The Window Depot.
That's our first look at the game, brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindownDepot.com.
Got it, thank you.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, here's what's coming up on our pregame show. Bottom of this hour, the offensive scouting report for the University of Arizona. Coming up a little bit later in our players-only meeting, Brooks Reed is going to join us. And coming up in the Captain's Corner, he went to one of the best high school football programs in all of the United States. Daniel Greer will join us on the program. All of that coming up here on the Right Way Rundown. But right now it's time for In the Huddle with Glenn Howell. Who do we have coming up today?
We got my boy James Debo.
Well, let's go
Number
out.
38. He was one of the first 38 of the 38s that we had here.
All right, well, hey, he's ready to go. So let's go In the Huddle with Glenn Howell.
Let's go in the huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the Huddle with Howell. He's driven by Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Fiat. Driven by you. Here is Glenn Howell.
What's up, Wildcat fans? I'm very excited today to have one of my ex-teammates, or, he's not ex, he's going to always be my teammate, coming into Howell's Huddle. And what we do here is we talk about what they're doing now, talk a little bit about football and about their career here at University of Arizona. And I like to welcome in to Howell's Huddle James DeBow, who played from 1985 to 1988. James, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Bear down, everybody.
Bear down, James. James, I just got to say one thing, man. I was looking, I posted some stuff on social media, and I always knew that James DeBow was one of the likable guys on our team. You should have seen the responses on everybody. Everybody just said, that's one of my favorite guys is James DeBow. And James was a great teammate. He's a guy that, was just always for everybody, is helping everybody. And, he was on both sides of the ball, and it was great to have him as a teammate. And I just want to say, James, everybody was just responding and how all former teammates and former coaches are responding on social media about you. How does that make you feel?
That's great to hear. I don't have a big footprint on social media these days. So I did get a call from Eugene, who mentioned it, Eugene Hardy, the Riddler.
Yeah. The Riddler.
Who mentioned it last night. Yeah, so, it was good to catch up with him again from this spring, and then to hear the response was it's nice. It's real nice.
Well, Jays, I got a couple questions for you, and on the social media, Coach Bernardi, okay, one of my first questions I have for you is Coach Bernardi says that he has you have a unique story about what was your recruiting process like for you to come to Arizona?
Yeah, it was unusual, unlike anything else. I had a great, senior year and build up to my senior year, but really lukewarm on the recruiting front. I had a first letter was from UCLA, had a feeler from Utah State. Thought I was going to get a trip to Washington State, but nothing materialized going into coming out of the recruiting period and the signing in February and the end of January. So they were Coach Bernardi in Arizona, where Bernardi was in town watching some film on a teammate of mine, Darrell Jones. You remember DJ Rock?
Rock.
Yeah, so he was watching that film, and he was saying I kept showing up. And he asked my coach Dave Duncanson, hey, where is this guy? Who is this guy, right? And so I was probably going to walk on at San Diego State because I had a set up to go to Taft Junior College.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I took so I took a road trip. My dad and I drove up to Taft, and I was like, oh, no, I can't do this. I'm not going to be.
That's out in the sticks, man.
It's out in the sticks, yeah. And so, Pops had the GI Bill, so I was just going to walk on there at San Diego State. But late in the game, Coach Bernardi saw the tape. They sent me a communication, asked if I wanted to come out to Tucson. This is in June. It's like a week before graduation. So I take a recruiting trip to Tucson. David Adams is my recruiting host.
Yeah, sweet D.
Takes me to Cowboys, right?
Yes.
Here's the selling point: the largest dance floor in the Southwest. I was like, my God, what am I doing here, right? And
I was probably there. It was probably on Wednesday.
Yeah, and so I ran into a cat played high school ball with. He was stationed out at Davis Moffett, and Garen Zielinski. And anyway, long story short, I sit down with Larry Smith that next morning, and this is my best Coach Smith voice. He says, I got one scholarship left. Do you want it? Huh?
What do you know?
Yeah. And so I jumped on it, and I big ups to Bernardi. When Coach Smith and his squad left for SC, I was hurt like a word, right?
Yeah.
But Bernardi was always a stand-up guy. I wish I'd have spoken more to him over the years about it. You know what I mean? But he really looked out for me even when I was here. In terms of first couple of years here is pretty tough. Culture shock coming from SoCal to Tucson at the time.
Yeah. And Coach Bernardi, he commented on the social media. It was like you're one of his favorites, and he really loved you, and he thought you were an upstanding kid, and what do you remember about your first practice at Arizona?
So it's two things, right? So number one is I was buried on the depth chart as a running back. Right, we had all these guys in front of me. I was like number 7. Vance Johnson was the starter. He was hurt going into camp. Phil Freeman was behind Vance.
NFL guys, right there.
David Adams.
Yep, sweet.
Right. David Adams was next.
Chris Mack was Chris Mack in there.
Chris, they were redshirting, right?
Okay,
but Mack was here. Big Al.
Yeah, Big Al.
Al Lewis from Nebraska. But it was Jeff Fairholm, Eugene Hardy, Paul Kashmachek, Chuck Knox Jr., all these guys in front of me. And, like I said, I came in as a running back, defensive back, and I chose running back initially because the depth chart on the defensive side was crazy. So I said, I can compete here. I know these two guys, and these guys, I'm looking at them, I'm sizing them up. Oh, no. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think I can work
this. Yeah, exactly.
And, so we get to camp, and Eugene is, we all look the same in shorts. So we get in pads, and Eugene gets the first run that morning. And he runs a toss sweep, tries to turn it up. I think B. Evans hit him so hard, man, his helmet was twisted around. So we roll into the afternoon practice. I went to go see the trainer. I said, "Hey, look, I need a neck roll." I need a neck roll, man.
Wear a neck roll too. I know that.
I said, I need a neck roll. I'm not playing with these cats. I'm not gonna get caught like that, And so that, and then I had a pretty good practice that first full line we did. So yeah.
I think the captain here, Kelvin Ifan, the other 38, he's going to ask you a couple questions.
Hey,
sure.
Great to meet you, man. I ended up wearing your number after you, 30. I was number 11 in basketball, so I said 3 + 8 is 11, right? I didn't have a lot of choices, but I was like, that's lucky 11 right there. I can roll that, right? So what I wanted to tell you was, I got to doing my thing at running back, and a guy in Tucson that I know named Jermaine Doty he used to always say James DeBow, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like this, so I had to go look you up. And again, Glenn was saying it earlier, the Tucson love for you was just amazing, because this is one of my buddies from Tucson native, and he used to always say, that's James DeBow number. That's James DeBow number. You better do that number right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to let you know, man, that the town got love for you.
Yeah, they love you, man, James. And, what was your first reaction when they switched you from running back to defensive back?
I didn't like it initially because, I think I had worked myself into a position to play a lot at running back. But, I kind of understood it at the end of the day.
You played. You got some great runs. Oregon State game. Didn't you run like a 60-yard touchdown and stuff?
Yeah, that was coming off of the spring. So Coach Shellman was the running back coach, right? And we had a lot of competition. They had brought Courtney came back, Griff came back,
Crazy Griff.
Yeah, and so it was a lot of internal stuff going on in the running back room, and I thought I had put it down, and then they come to me with the recruiting class, Great House, and the direction with regard to what was happening on defense.
Yeah, don't forget Drac. Eldridge.
Yeah, that's right. David Eldridge was there too, and so he brought it to me like, look, you can play 20 plays a game, or you can play 60 plays a game. You know what I mean? Or roughly 60, right? Depending on how much you get, right?
Yep.
And then, I just looked ahead a little bit in terms of, what was my best shot to play at the next level? Was it at running back, or was it at on the defensive side? And it wasn't like I said, I couldn't play it. An aptitude to play on that side of the ball. So I said, yeah, I'd rather play than be sitting behind some cats I know I'm as good or better than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the transition. A lot of guys don't make that. They can't make it mentally, They get switched, and then they're like, oh, it's over. We've seen a couple guys like that just disappear, and that's what I say about we talk about, guys playing at this level. You got to be mentally tough when you play in this level. It's not just physical, because everybody's got physical. Everybody's got the physicality of it. You just got to be mentally tough.
Yeah.
What was your favorite game you ever played
in? All the ASU games are memorable. But for me, it was really playing against these cats that we went to high school with and in front of my folks here in SoCal. Because my mom never really got a chance to come see us play in Tucson. But she would be at like the 86 the '86 UCLA game. That was a real memorable game for me. That was probably the most fun and disappointment I ever had in a game, considering that, we didn't win. But at the same time, I think I had maybe 40 people up in the stands, so it was a good one.
So, James, I think that if people were on social media saying that, one of the play that you made in that ASU game, they say that it's probably one of the top 10 plays in ASU U of A history on that game. That game is emotional for all of us. We never lost. I don't know, you never lost, and I never lost to Arizona State. So we never had that feeling of a loss or anything. But,
I'm sorry, can I interrupt, Glenn? What was your record against Arizona State?
Mine was 3-0. 3-0.
Oh, okay.
James is 4. Well, you're 5-0. 4-0?
Right. We tied one. Yeah, we tied one 1 year, 87, I think.
Yeah, your first year with Tomey, right?
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody knew that you guys were undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated.
You've never lost to the Sun Devils.
Never lost to the Sun Devils. Never lost to the Sun Devils.
Yeah.
But talk us through that play, okay? The keys, what you were making your keys, making that read. Talk us through that game.
Yeah.
That not that game, but just that play on that goal line.
Yeah. So I'm at corner. We're on like the 2-1, somewhere in there after a offsides on a field goal. They came back. A lot of people didn't see that play because they went to commercial. It was nationally televised game, but they went to commercial, and ASU took the points off the board and tried to punch it in. So we're on the 2. They got their heavy set in with Big Boy, the offensive guard, all pro dude at the fullback, and they put Channing Williams, the regular fullback, at the running back position. So they run a little motion. So I squeeze down, and they run this off tackle play. So the receiver's trying to block me. I get off of his block, and Channing just trying to do his thing. I caught him, though. I caught him before he got his center of gravity and got up underneath him. That was the end of the game, really. End of the play, for that matter, because once I hit him, I was like, well, damn, where's the pop? I thought it was going to be a big collision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you lit him up.
But, yeah, because I got him. Before he got low, I got under his pass. His head snapped back a little bit. His feet drug. I said, "Oh, he's done."
Yeah.
And I just drove him back, and help came running. You know what I mean?
D-Lock was in there. D-Lock was in there coming up and helping you out.
I was going to ask you this. You watching our teams now, and we've been having issues with tackling for a few years now. I mean, maybe longer than that. And I know for sure during your time and for sure during my time and all the years I ever watched, that never was an issue with Arizona football.
Yeah.
Would you say that again for the people, the way that you tackled that guy, so they can understand what it takes to be a tackler? Because you explained it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it's you got to get your head across, right? Get your body in position. And if you're fortunate enough, you got to get the leverage. You got to get leverage and strike and wrap. Those are the fundamentals of tackling, right? And first off, I was at spring practice. I wasn't at every practice, but that game, you got to do it in practice, man.
Yeah,
you got to do it live.
That's exactly
you can't be playing around, talking about, I formed him up, and you got to do it.
Yeah.
To the ground.
James, how many times did we go full line? We went full line. We went ones on ones.
Yeah, ones on ones. Yeah.
Larry used to have us.
Yeah.
We would go on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then let up on Friday because we had to get out of there.
Yeah.
We were hitting all the time.
Yeah. At least I know for a fact Tuesdays and Wednesdays were during the season were
banging.
The only real live. Yeah, they were doing it. In the spring, it was, man, we fought so much as an offense and a defense because we went ones on ones, and Coach used to set up those situations as well where you would play So like offense to get 7 points for a score, defense to get 7 points if we get a turnover or a score.
Stop.
Stop. 3 and out is a win for the defense. We set up these situations where, we were learning to compete, right?
Yep.
And that preparation really transitioned us defensively and I believe offensively, even though we didn't have real explosive offense. These offensive teams that we had, we stuck to the script. We're gonna bang, 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 get a couple big plays, and we're gonna stop them on defense. So if we score 21 points, we're gonna win the game.
Yeah.
If we score 21 points, that Arizona team is gonna win.
Yeah, and the thing is also, James, is that I remember back, our coaches were physical. Our coaches.
I was going to ask them. Yeah.
The coaches were made you physical. Rogie, you had Bobby April, you had all the guys, Mo Ankney. Those guys were they're crazy. Those guys.
Right. And
on the offensive side of the ball, same thing.
Right, and I want to ask James, how was the change with Coach Tomey when you first got Coach Tomey? How was that? Changing over.
Man, so it was not easy because a lot of us, that team was built to play a certain brand of ball. To be perfectly honest and candid with you, I don't think Tomey figured it out offensively until maybe sometime after I was gone. Defensively, I think he was on point. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had the personnel and coaching in place to do that. But you can look at the record and see offensively, Homer Smith was his first time he figured it out. So it was tough. I remember being in the shower on spring break singing, "Don't push me because I'm close to the edge." You know what I mean? Trying not to lose my head. And then we went 4-4-3. That was 4-4-3. We tied 3 games that year. Lost 4. We probably should have won 2 for 2 of those, maybe 3 of those for sure. It was brutal that first year. But he true to who he was, Coach Tomey. He stayed consistently who he was in terms of approachable, dogmatic about the principles that he believed in, specifically on defense, and how we were supposed to play in terms of with the type of effort and commitment to trying to do the right thing. So, big up for Tomey.
Yeah, and so James, what are you doing now? Are you retired? Or what are you doing now?
Oh, I'm looking for retirement any day now. But I'm supervising social workers here in Riverside County with Children's Services.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for the last 15 years, supervising probably for the last 8 years. I may move up another rung if they decide to give me the job. But I kind of enjoy this. I've been doing this, working with children, youth, and families for really since my career. Glenn, when you were doing the DOC stuff, I was with Pima County. Doing that too. And then I also did some work in the community there in Tucson. You got your guy coming on, Brooks Reed.
Yep.
I coached him in Pop Warner football.
Oh, really?
Wow. Me and Julius. Yeah.
That's
Julius,
awesome.
Julius Holton and I coached him his first year ever played. And I remember saying to his dad, "Hey, he's got great genetics, man. We called him Body Beautiful. Look at this little kid."
Oh, Body Beautiful.
That's Body Beautiful number 2.
Oh, man, he was strapped.
Yeah.
He had he had a little 6-pack, a little definition and stuff, and just
awesome.
you ask him to do something, man, he did it. He did it 100 miles an hour, and he did it right. So
All right, go ahead.
Well, James, man, listen, man, it was a great time talking to you, man. Every time, it's always good talking to you, brother. And I hope you come back for some alumni stuff because everybody would love to see you.
Yeah.
And you got Tomey Air, you got Larry Smith Air. I talked to a bunch of guys, and I told them you were coming on. Talked to Charlie Dickey, and he said, he was excited about it. I tell James I said hello. All kinds of guys, man. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate you coming on, my brother. and bear down.
No, I appreciate you. Bear down, man. Appreciate you inviting me, and I look forward to getting back to Tucson as often as I can. So, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. James DeBoe in the huddle with Glenn Howell. We'll continue. This is 1290.
Right now.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. He's driven by Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Fiat. Driven by you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
You want to go right into the break?
Go right in the break.
Bear down, Wildcats fans. This is the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
What's the biggest thing you look for when buying a vehicle? If it's the best selection and deals, we've got it all at Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Fiat. Over 100 pre-owned vehicles in stock. Grande means prices must matter. Save yourself the time.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down, and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff. Into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Oh, did they need that? My goodness. Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the board. ASU with the ball. Down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home and foul.
Meridian Wealth Management pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
We continue with you live from Casino del Sol. Sol Sports is our location for all the away games. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rich Herrera, along with the Captain Kelvin Efon and Glenn Howe. Coming up in just a little bit on the program, we're going to have Brooks Reed join us, and Daniel Guerrero will join us on the program today. But, guys, I got to tell you, I enjoyed that conversation with James DeBose so much. I just sit here listening to it, talking about intensity, talking about hitting, talking about technique. I know the game of football's changed a little bit, Kelvin, but technique is technique.
Yeah, technique is technique. It's changed, but at the end of the day, it's a running, hitting game, and guys like him relate when you hear him talking about striking, driving guys backwards, leverage.
Hips.
That's hips. Bringing your hips, the mentality first. That's what it's all about.
All right, and I thought really what was really important, like when Kelvin. Both of us were saying our coaches were physical. Just the way they talk to us.
Yeah.
And the way they create
reputations of these guys.
And also what they rewarded in practice.
Exactly.
They called out the physical guys, and they also would call out guys not being physical.
Not being physical.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Who became physical.
And turned them
or they were out.
Yeah,
or they were out.
Wasn't going to work for you.
All right, let's get to the offensive scouting report brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Here is the Wildcats offensive scouting report for today's game.
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, guys, let's get right into it. Washington has had trouble stopping people throwing the football. Chunk yardage. They're beat up in the defensive backfield. They've got safeties that have been converted over to cornerbacks. Their best defensive back, Asa Hutchinson. We're not sure whether he's going to be able to go to, or Asa Turner, excuse me. Asa Hutchinson's a politician. Asa Turner from Carlsbad High School. We're not sure whether he's going to be able to go today. Arizona's going to provide a challenge for Washington. Here's their head coach, Kalen DeBoer, cut 6.
Another great, a challenge in different ways. Every week provides a different challenge, and Arizona moving the ball and what they do, and I think they're continuing to build their program and be better each and every week. So, fortunately, we get to be back in Husky Stadium, homecoming, and there's a great vibe that I know our guys have, having played 4 games already here. So, excited about that. Guys, we're excited to get back to work. Yesterday we went on the field, and we won't always do that where we practice on a Sunday, especially as the season goes along. We'll continue to pull back on that, but I think the reps and the corrections and the walkthrough that we can get to correct the things from Saturday and maybe get a jump start on Arizona, the week ahead is always good for us. So tomorrow starts a new week. I expect nothing but awesome energy from these guys. The journey, as we talked yesterday, isn't always on the course that you want it to go. You don't see the peaks and valleys in the course that's set up, and we just got to really do a great job of mentally, mindset wise, operate in the right space and be in an attacking mode, positive mode, and make our own breaks. We had a few things that went against us, a few breaks that didn't go our way. And I'm a believer you work hard, you prepare, and you stick together, and those breaks will happen for us. So.
Washington coach Kalen DeBoer, first year he's been running the Huskies program. Guys, let's go back to something because Jed Fish will talk about this. You heard Coach DeBoer talk about this on Sunday. We got to fix our mistakes. We got to fix things that we've seen. All right, so what happens on Sunday at that practice when I'm making these corrections?
Well, I remember back when we were playing, the first thing we would do would go over our efforts. That means anything that we did wrong that was pointed out, that was a mistake, whether it be holding, jumping off sides, forgetting the assignment, anything like that, we were held accountable to it, so we had to go through that. But biggest thing is making adjustments. You have to get ready to fix your mistakes, because if not, the other teams are going to take advantage of it. They're watching videos, they're watching the film and looking for things that they can get to beat you. You have to go back and fix those things, and that's just a part of what football is.
And what we used to do is that we used to look at, like Kelvin says, look at your effort, and then was it a mental mistake? Was it a technique mistake?
Yeah.
And then you would understand on Monday when we get to practice, that's what we have to work on. Our tight end coach would tell us, Bernardi would say, listen, we're not putting our hand placement in the right place. Let's work on that. If we're not getting our fit, do you understand we're supposed to go down on a double team on so-and-so? Those are the kind of things that you have to make mistakes, and then you don't make them again. But if we continue to hear the same mistake and see the same mistakes, there's something going awry.
And it's like, as a running back, your job is to step up and take the linebackers so the linebackers don't blitz. You have to step up and take that guy. You got to catch him up in the line. You can't take one step and be standing right next to the quarterback. Quarterback throw the ball, hit you in the helmet, break his hand. You got to step up in there with the offensive lineman and take that guy. Those are the things that we look for on film to clean up the pocket and to make the quarterbacks more comfortable.
All right, let's go to the running back, because we're going to be down one running back more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Wiley's got an oblique strain, held out last week. We're going to see Jonah Coleman getting the start today. Here's Jed Fish, cut 7.
I think Mike will be maybe ready if called upon, but I don't think he's necessarily in a spot where we're going to start him. We'll start Jonah Coleman this week.
So now we're going to get Jonah Coleman getting an opportunity. We've seen a lot from Jonah Coleman. DJ Williams is also going to get an opportunity. And boy, we were surprised. You saw that other gear that he had the other day. Here's Brendan Carroll talking about DJ Williams and where he is right now.
Early on, it was just getting him in shape. He was he had a bunch of summer classes to get taken care of so he could graduate and get here. But just in his development in the system and learning our schemes, and, just being aggressive with it, you can kind of see early on, he was hesitant in some of his reads. But, as you saw this past weekend, he saw his read and hit it, and nobody touched him. So we'll expect, obviously, that and, even more from him going forward.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a big physical 225-pound, 6'1" guy that comes downhill because, again, he's basically a linebacker playing running back.
How much does that get the guys excited when you see him truck somebody and show some physicalness?
Well, it gets everybody excited because at the end of the day, we just said it, it's a hitting game. And if your running back is physical like that and he's making a statement like that, it fires up everybody because everybody understands that the defense understands they're going to be having a long day. It's going to be tough trying to stop a guy that is that physical.
Okay, one of the things we're going to look at today is Washington has been suspect in the defensive backfield. Where they have some strength is rushers coming off the edge. Here's Jed Fish talking about the edge rushers that we're going to see today for the Washington Huskies. This is cut 9.
Second week in a row, I feel as if we're going against true NFL edge rushers. Obviously 2 and 3 last week fall under that category as well. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Those are game-changing positions. There's certain positions on a field where there's game changers. The pass rushers, the quarterback, the receiver, those guys are traditionally the ones that make that can change a game, affect the game, impact the game. And then obviously all the other positions are working hand in hand there. In this case, every time I've ever thought of Washington, I've thought of defense. So in my mind, this is the top defense. I don't look at the stats. I look at the player bodies, and they have a lot of really, really good player bodies out there, and they have a lot of really good skills. And you have
10
to
seconds.
Not just hold serve when it comes to being able to handle these two guys, but there has to be times that you win. You have to win some of those one-on-one matchups against those edge rushers and all 4 of their defensive linemen. Their interior guys are pretty impressive as well.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, hearing what he just
Yes.
said, hope we don't get baited into, okay, now, they're weak in the defensive backfield, so we're going to pass the ball.
Yeah, man.
And then we're going to get all in. But we still got to be able to run the ball. Those edge rushers that are coming so hard, those guys usually you can run the ball on.
Right.
And we have to have prized possessions, I think, today. Today those are prized possessions because we have to be able to move the chains. How are we going to move those chains? Are we going to do short passes and just to nullify those guys, to not have them get a 3-step drop, that we're coming back and they're coming rushing, they have a lot of time to get to the quarterback, or are we going to shorten it down with short passes and just kind of keep them at bay? So that's what we have to understand of how we're going to be able to make sure that their offense doesn't get the ball.
And as a running back, one of the biggest things that we did was you got to chip. You got to chip those guys. You got to help those tackles. You got to come over there. He's coming off that edge. He thinks you're going out in the route, and then you just dip back over, right? You dip back over.
As you chip him, what's the purpose of chipping? What are you trying to do?
Well, I'm trying to slow him down.
Throw him off his –
throw him off his track. Usually they try to take that – turn the corner to get to the quarterback, and you try to come. Say he's coming off the right edge.
Right.
The offensive tackle is going to get his inside shoulder. I'm gonna come take away his outside shoulder.
So now he's like a hurricane that missed the state of Florida, and it's just going out to sea.
Well, no, because when I come through, I'm knocking him on his back. I'm not going to force him around. When I chip him, it's not really a chip. It's somebody hitting you with a 4x4.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to Kelvin Eaton. Not a normal human being.
Normally guys ride him around.
Right.
Yeah, I'm coming to hammer that nail in the ground. No, Rich, it's a statement on that one.
It ain't a little freaking little chisel. It's not a
little push, right?
See, when I chipped, and to me, when good running backs chip, I'm not caring about getting out in the route.
Yeah.
I'm caring about.
That's where I was going to go with that.
Yeah. I'm trying to protect my quarterback right now. I'm trying to make a statement. I want that end to think about it. Every time he come around that edge, he's looking for me.
And you have to be able to run through that guy to get to your route. So if you're running through it, if you're stopping to hit him, that's not.
Got to bounce.
You got to be able to get out.
They were talking about that on College Game Day this morning. The young running backs have a hard time because they're used to in high school. I just kind of push you.
Right.
Yeah.
But these are different. These are grown men in college.
Exactly. In high school, they're 215. In college, you look right here, they're 275, 280. And when you get to the pros, I got to the pros, those guys were 300, 310.
Yeah. All right. So can I just ask this question, personal, for you, Kelvin? When you did that and you knocked somebody off you knocked them down, when you're looking down at them, what was the look on their face?
You know what? I didn't stick around. I'm a champion.
Exactly.
I knocked him on his back, and I went to the next guy.
Okay.
But when I looked at it on tape,
right.
When I saw it on the video,
what was his body language after
you can see his body language, you can see his attitude, and in the next play.
Yeah, he's looking.
Yeah, you can see the guy.
His head's on a swivel, which is keeping him probably a quarter step away from where he wants to get.
It's slowing him down.
Yep.
Slowing him down. All right. We've got much more coming up here on our pregame show. Coming up in the next hour, we're going inside the players-only meeting. Brooks Reed. We have to ask Brooks if he remembers Coach DeBow.
Yeah.
Right? What do you call him? Body
Body. And Julius.
And Julius, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll remember Julius.
For sure.
Well, I mean, talk about what a pedigree for Brooks. Now you kind of know why he ended up where he ended up when you look at the people that he surrounded himself as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's like you guys both work with kids. That's a giving back, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the ultimate.
And you know what? We have our kids that go pro and play professional football and basketball, but it's the doctors, the lawyers, the city workers, teachers.
They come up to you. Like he gets it too.
Yeah.
They come up to you at the game, man. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm like, of course I did, man. Like, I've had that happen, man. And even when I worked in the Department of Corrections, guys that I worked in that were hardcore bangers come up to me, man, and say, man, I just wanted to say a thank you. Those are the things that mean the most.
I mean, you just think about every time I look at the newspaper on Saturday morning and I see Push Ridge Christian.
Yeah.
And I know you work with a bunch of those Push Ridge kids, right?
Yep.
The Mustaine boys and everybody else watching them. And then I was thinking about this. I was just kind of looking over my shoulder, Kelvin, and over your shoulder. They're showing Army football taking on Colgate. When we had that Army cadet come by,
right,
to bring you a basketball shirt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No,
right?
Yeah, one of my guys right there.
Yeah, I mean, talk about remember, right?
Yep. Billy Morrison, Rincon University High School.
Or how about we met the father during the March Madness?
Yeah.
The doctor that came over and said, I don't know if you remember me. Oh, you remembered him. You remembered his son.
Yes.
And he said, this is my son's doing right now. I got a little choked up. It was cool.
Yeah, no, man, it's amazing, man. I mean, I just, as Glenn, man, you love giving back. People inspired me when I was growing up, man, and I just really appreciate the opportunity to give it back.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, we got more coming up. We got 2 more hours of our pregame show. We're live at Casino del Sol, Sol Sports. Come by, join us. Don't forget, immediately follow the ball game. We'll have a full recap with highlights right here on your home for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff. It is good. Backfield and drop. No gain. Loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the field. ASU with the ball, down by 11, 3 have to go, steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down that was from midcourt. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko, feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline, circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ballgame. Mathurin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's
We're
a
tied.
huge shot for Ben Mathurin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Mathurin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley, the running back. Receiver either side. 2 tight ends. Oregon, 5-man front. They shift. Play fake, rolling right. McLeod looking to throw. Going deep. Down, trying to find Berryhill. Makes the catch inside the 25-yard line. Still loose inside the 15. First down, Arizona.
What a play by McLeod. He was smacked, but he had the presence of mind to know where Berryhill was. He threw the ball. He underthrew the ball, and Berryhill was looking back at it and made a great play on the ball. An amazing play by Jordan McLeod.
Brown will take the snap a yard deep in the end zone. Straight back to throw. Has some time. Steps up in the pocket. The Wildcats have got him for a safety.
By Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived.
We continue with you live from Casino del Sol, Arizona, taking on Washington today. I'm Rich Herrera, along with Captain Kelvin Efon, Glenn Howe, as we get you ready for football. Hey, let's take a look at the Pac-12 scoreboard brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers.
Here is today's Pac-12 scoreboard, brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery. Here is Rich Herrera on Wildcats Radio 1290.
An interesting Saturday in the Pac-12, fellas. Here we'll run down the scores for you, or excuse me, the games that are coming up. Nothing's going yet. Just getting underway right now. California, Colorado with their new coach. Cal, seeing if they can rebound and let Joyce Ott run wild up in Colorado. Other ball games today. Stanford taking on Notre Dame at Notre Dame Stadium. Stanford 1-4, trying to figure out how they're going to get their season going. The intriguing game for me today, Kelvin, is Washington State, Oregon State. Desperation game for both teams.
Yeah, no, both teams, man, and you need that dub right now. So those guys are going to be going at it. One of them going to come out on top, but right now I'm probably going to go with Wazoo.
Okay, other ball game today, Pac-12. University of Southern California goes to Utah. USC is number 7 in the country. Utah, number 20. Utah has not played their best football. They haven't played disciplined football, and surprisingly, they haven't played good defensively. That's a defensive-minded coach, defensive-minded team, Kelvin. USC, I know there's a lot of hype, but I don't believe the hype just quite yet.
Yeah, and Utah steps up in games like this. USC better watch out because Utah love playing against ranked opponents, and they come out and play disciplined football.
And Utah loves playing at home.
Right.
So that's going to be difficult for, I think, SC. And yeah, I'm not sold on SC yet.
Are you sold on UCLA after watching them beat Utah last week?
UCLA, man, they're starting to grow on me a little bit.
DTR.
I'm telling you.
Heisman?
I don't know about Heisman, but I mean, we're going to see how he does in the next couple of games.
The numbers are looking good.
The numbers are looking good. Listen, I think he might be someone because it always happens. Whoever is the beginning of the Heisman Trophy candidate hype will fall.
Everybody's going for him.
Yeah. Everybody's going for him. Then all of a sudden somebody comes back over here. If DTR has a couple really good games, why not DTR getting some serious consideration?
They would have to first win the Pac-12. That's what they would have to do.
Get to that UCLA game undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated, and they got to win the Pac-12. If they do that, and he has a great, fantastic game up to that, then he's in the game.
Although I heard Herb Street today saying, well, if USC gets by Utah, they're going to be 10-0 by the time they get to the UCLA Bruins. Lee Corso would say, not so fast. Not so fast. Although Arizona will take on USC, and this probably will be the final trip for the Trojans to Tucson.
Yeah.
About that with the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I was thinking trap game originally because Arizona's got the bye, but USC has a bye as
too.
well. So.
That was like, what kind of schedule is that?
And I'm hoping that they think that they have 2 byes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you see Arizona on there and you think that's a layup.
Yeah.
And so that gives you that opportunity.
And you know what? We're always good for that one.
It's
that one.
John Canzano says, it's so Pac-12.
Yeah.
You have a team that you don't expect to lose to, bam, because it's the Pac-12, right? That didn't happen to the SEC.
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia don't slip up.
And think about the games that SC won where they really should have lost.
Right.
Oregon State, they should have lost.
Now, I'm going to say something about that. They still learning each other, too.
Yeah, they are.
That's a new team, you know, with a bunch of new guys. The talent is there, but they're figuring out a way to win. It is tight, but they're a bunch of new groups. Jefffish says it all the time here. Right. You know, these guys basically only been together 6 games.
Absolutely. All right, that's a look at the Pac-12 scoreboard brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers.
That's today's Pac-12 scoreboard, brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
Coming up on the Right Way Rundown. Players only. I get out of the way. I let you guys just sit and chop it up. Brooks Reed, linebacker, joining us on the program, man. Talk about somebody who's going to bring some intensity, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, the guy's the hair on fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's it. He was
flowing out of his helmet.
Yeah.
Flowing right out of his helmet.
One half of the Sack brothers.
Yeah. So he's coming up next. We'll also have our defensive scouting report. And then coming up in the captain's corner, we will have
Daniel Greer, the man, the big beast in the middle of our defense from the 98 12-1 squad.
That is awesome. All that coming up on the Right Way Rundown. Yeah. I mean, listen, you talk about you want to bring some intensity to the program today?
Yeah.
I got the two of you. And if you ever watch our show on YouTube, Kelvin has those eyes, right? Kelvin has those eyes.
Man,
how would you describe when Kelvin gets his game face on?
Yeah.
How would you describe it, Glenn?
It's intense. It's intense.
Let's go. They're not quite Mike Singletary eyes. Remember Mike Singletary had his eyes are as big as saucers, right?
Yeah.
But Kelvin has the look of a predator, right? There's predator and prey. If you ever saw the movie Tombstone, when she walks, she's looking at Wyatt Earp. She goes, I don't know if that's predator or prey. When Kelvin gets that look, he's ready to go in there and he's ready to get after and get somebody.
And my favorite term from that movie is I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah.
I'm the one. I bring it to me.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I love it.
I learned something about chipping today. I learned something about chipping today.
Oh.
Chipping is not just going over there and gently touching you.
Yeah. They call it chipping. I call it pancaking. I'm not going to chip anyway.
How did you stay the shape that you are with all the pancakes you had?
Well, I do have little pains. I have my pains, but it's well worth it. You know, when you're a soldier, it's a part of it, but that feeling of knowing the accomplishments that you made, it goes with it. Some people have pains and do nothing. So I'll take it.
And sometimes when you're physical, you don't get that much of a pain because you're applying the blow.
Well, they hurt way more than me. I guarantee you that.
Wait, because I want to hear. I was going to ask you. So I didn't want to interrupt James DeBose on this earlier. He talked about when he's getting ready and he was gonna pop somebody, and that other guy pulled up because he didn't want anything of that. What's that like?
Man, ain't nothing like it. Being a running back, and I that happened a lot with me because guys knew I was a physical player. He talked about getting low. I never let anyone get lower than me.
Pad level, right?
Pad level, right. And a lot of the DBs and a lot of the running backs run too high. They let people get up under them. I ran under my shoulder pads and my knees.
Where would you rather get hit, in the chest or the shoulder?
The shoulder.
Yeah, because I'm the chest. I'm going to stand you out.
Oh, man, you're going to knock your wind out. You know, so I want them shoulders so I can bounce you off. My neck strong, my shoulder strong. We do all that weightlifting and everything. Let's use it.
Absolutely. All right, coming up. We're going to go into the players-only meeting. I'm excited. Brooks Reed's going to join us. He's next. We're live at Casino del Sol. Don't forget, after the ball game, we're going to have our full post-game show, and the wrap will have highlights. You'll hear from Jed Fish. We'll take your telephone calls. That comes up immediately following the ball game. We're on Learfield will be on for an hour, then we got 2. So we got plenty to wrap up today with a 2:30 game, Arizona taking on Washington. We've got more coming up live from Casino Sol. By the way, we're also on YouTube today, so go to @Wildcats1290. The guys look pretty sharp today.
Oh, yeah. Wildcat
Ready to
up.
go. There you go. We got more coming up. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bear down, Wildcats fans. This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the 3, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Oh, did they need that? My goodness. Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the board. ASU with the ball. Down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down that was from midcourt. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ballgame. Matherin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley.
We continue with you here on our pregame show, counting down 2:30. Arizona taking on Washington in Seattle today. All right, it's time now for our players-only meeting. This is one of our favorite parts of the program where I get out of the way. I talk enough during the week. It's time to hear from the guys, and they bring back a former Arizona Wildcat. So we're going to go big. We're going intense today, right? It's the cats and the dogs. We need to bring it up a couple levels today. So earlier on the program, we had James DeBow on, and he talked about a young man that he says he remembers as a little kid playing football that he and Julius Holt were around. So let's run out to our guest hotline and get the players-only meeting started by bringing Brooks Reed on to 1290.
Let's go inside the Wildcats Radio 1290 locker room for a players-only meeting. Here is our letterman, Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin E. Fine.
How you doing today? This is Glenn Howell. We're welcoming in, and we're excited to have on the players-only meeting Brooks Reed, guy from Sabino High School, played at the University of Arizona 2007 to 2010, first team All-Pac-10, second-round pick for the Houston Texans, and he played for the Atlanta Falcons and Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans. One of the most intense players that ever put on the uniform at the University of Arizona. Brooks Reed, welcome to the players-only meeting. How you doing, Brooks?
Good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Brooks, we're here with Kelvin also. Kelvin's here, the captain. And, Brooks, you were a captain your senior year, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I was.
Yes, I thought you
Along
were.
with Nick Foles and trying to remember who else here. Jerron Kreiner, I think, was up there too.
Yeah. Well, we love having you in here, and what we usually do is we talk about what guys are doing now and what their experience was at the U of A and their NFL experience, and if they played in the NFL. What are you doing now? What do you do as you retired? And you just retired having fun, or what's going on?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I'm a stay-at-home dad right now. We have a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, 2 boys, so I got my hands full, but I'm helping my wife out, and just glad I could be here for, as young as they are. I feel pretty lucky that I can be able to do that, and, still thinking about what the next step is, whether that's staying in football or doing something completely different, I don't have any other path to follow. My dad is retired, and I don't have anything to really fall back on business wise or whatever. So it's kind of like a open road, as far as what the possibilities are for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So we got a couple questions for you. It's like, what year was it when you got to the U of A? When you said to yourself that I could play at this level?
I think when I really understood what level I had to play at, I think that was kind of after my redshirt year and getting my ass kicked, at fullback.
Yeah.
And then, making the change over to D-line, I felt like that transition, forced me to be in more of a survival state because I knew I wanted to play in the NFL and I knew to be successful at the collegiate level, I had to make an impact, and fullback just wasn't my deal. They gave me the option when I first, joined Arizona if I wanted to be a fullback or a linebacker. Stoops was you can play whichever you want, but I was like, hey man, I get to tote the rock and go run routes and stuff. I picked fullback, and I was just getting my butt rocked because all we were doing was running power and ISOs and stuff, and I wasn't used to hitting guys. I was at Sabino.
Yeah, exactly. Because I watched you
linebackers.
Yeah, I watched you at Sabino, and it was like a man amongst boys. You were just demolishing guys. I said, this kid, they should take this kid off the field because he's going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, I actually, this Kelvin Efun right here, my brother was Leves Efun. He played at Sow Point against you guys, so I got to watch you guys in person with Belowski at tailback too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was crazy, man. I was like, Dave, these guys shouldn't even be playing on this field, man. They should be playing at JC and playing at Pima or something during their high school years. You know?
And we were in the 4A. We weren't 5A, but we were still playing, competitive teams up in Phoenix and stuff like that at that point. Now Sabino's 3A, and they're a smaller school and playing like schools way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
How now tell me, being a Tucson kid, going to U of A, how was that? Because I know, and being as effective as you were, being all-world defensive end and ended up going to the pros, how was it for you representing your hometown?
It was awesome, and I had received other offers to go to other schools, but I kind of knew I wanted to stay local just so my family could come watch. And with what was going on at Arizona with Mike Stoops, and there was a lot of momentum going into that recruiting class, and it just felt right to me, to stay local. And I grew up right next to the stadium, and I could actually hear the stadium from my old house. Remember hearing that as a kid and thinking that was so cool, and to have the opportunity to play for them on scholarship and stuff was so cool. And it was kind of a no-brainer, and it's kind of something I wanted to do. And, from the beginning, I mean, kind of no matter, I always liked, USC and Florida, all those schools that were really dominant, when I was growing up, middle school and stuff. But, at the end of the day, I go on their roster websites, and it's just every single kid All-American, the top of their class.
6'6",
parade All-American.
5-star, 6'6", 280, 4'4".
Yeah,
right?
Good God, yeah. So it was a great experience at the U of A, and I'm so happy that I went there, and we had a great class, and we had a lot of pieces that helped us be successful enough to play in 3 straight bowl games, and so it was great.
Well, when you're at U of A, tell our fans what was your focus at the U of A that made you better? Was it the weight room? Was it the film room? Was it your technique? What was the thing that made you focus, and what was your focus to make you a better player that, the All-American and the first-team All-Pac-10 guy that you became in a draft choice?
Right. It wasn't just automatic, they switched me to D-line. All of a sudden I was some, great player. I had to learn a lot. I watched a lot of film of guys that were in the league that, I tried to emulate, like Dwight Freeney. I always thought, he had similar body type. He's not small. He's I got to actually play with him with the Atlanta Falcons in 2016, which was actually incredible. Awesome. But I watched a lot of tape of him and just guys that had similar body types as me, and just tried to just work moves, because at the end of the day, football is just, can you win your one-on-one matchup, across the whole board, whether it's D lineman against O lineman, quarterback against receiver. So it's just, but at the same time, my dad instilled a great work ethic in me at a young age. So I always knew how to work really hard, but I just needed to know the path in which to focus my energy, and Corey Edmonds, who was the strength coach at the time, really believed in me and was the primary reason why I moved from fullback to D-line, because he's like, dude, this guy has a faster start than most
Corey
people on the
great.
team, he was like, okay, this kid could run as fast as anyone from 0 to 10. That's all the D-lineman's world is 0 to 10. And, so, he tried to teach me some moves, and, it just gave me the confidence to believe in myself that I could make it work as a, DN, outside linebacker, and that the production would start to come as the harder I worked at my craft. So it was just a matter of time. And, I just worked my butt off, and like I sacrificed a lot of, in college, there's plenty of distractions and,
going out, partying,
like there's always those distractions that, especially at the U of A. And like, I chose kind of just stay back, and it just was something I knew that it was always like two paths, and that you could see the guys went down, if they were there for their socially, it was kind of not conducive for a professional career.
Yeah, I always used to tell all my kids that I train and everything, I think it's school, sport, social life. If you mix those up, if you move those in front, because people want to be around smart, great athletes. That's what you have to do. You can't put your social life in front of all the things that you're doing. Your academics first, your sport. If you dedicate, you're going to be okay. Kelvin.
Yeah.
And I think, sorry, just a quick point of what you said, Glenn, was, the biggest difference between college and NFL is that what you're saying is how smart these guys are. I mean, so many smart guys in this league that, they have to be able to be able to
be effective,
utilize what they have on the field and execute it.
Yes, sir. So when you watch U of A's football teams, and in some of the past where we haven't been having some of the better defenses, and I know as a kid you grew up hearing about the Desert Swarm and the Teddy Bruschies and the Sean Harrises right out your own backyard of the world. What do you think when you're watching, or when you get to see some of the games? What do we need to do, or some advice you can give to help our defense play better?
It's some people like to dog on them a little bit, but I see a lot of potential and a lot of improvement even from last year. And you could tell that they're being coached a lot better, and that there's a lot more fight. But that comes over time. It's not, they can't just be, not everyone could just be dominant at the same time. But I'd have to be in the film room and stuff to see like exactly what's going on, because sometimes you can confuse players and kind of hamper them in that if you're making them think too much on the field, they can't be creative and, call their own games. Because as if you have 4 really good D linemen, you can call your own games depending on the formation and stuff, and really get into a good groove and kind of know where everyone's at. Because it's all pretty, D lineman, man, it's pretty simple. You just got to know where everyone's at. You can't be taking up other people's lanes, and know where the quarterback's at. So, I think the front line. I mean, it all starts up front, and if those guys can just be on the same page, and and I'm assuming defenses get more and more complicated as the years go on. I feel like, but when I was with Mike and Mark Stoops, it was like, you guys handle what you need to handle up front. Like, we trust you, and you call your games, mix it up, because it was, me, Ricky Elmore, and then, a couple good rushers up inside, and DeAndre Reed. And, it was like everyone who went in could execute the same plan. And it was easy enough to where you didn't have to, like, ask the guy next to you, hey, do I have this on? No, there was none of that. It was simple, and, Mike liked blitzing and getting after the quarterback. It was just, that's what he was about, and creating pressure. And he knew that's how you affected the game in the biggest way, to help out your secondary. So, I would say to the younger guys, just, everyone, if you have to have your own side meeting, just, before a game, just understand what the game plan is, and at the same time, stay at the same page, and, create, study film and look at, where their biggest weaknesses are on the offensive line. That's what we did in the NFL. Like, I remember just, you pick one, you find the guy that's not, that is not the best, and you just game plan him, and you just go from there. And but it just starts from watching film, and I would pick certain moves depending on who, what this guy's strengths and weaknesses were. You know, if the guy was a soft setter, a hard setter, or quick setter, you know, you have different moves that could beat a certain set, you know, and it just gets down to that detail of the game that matters the most in crunch time situations for D linemen that, you know, are looking to beat their guy one-on-one in a big crucial down, like a 3rd and long to get off the field. And, you know, that's what it comes down to, is just players making plays and winning one-on-one matchups up front.
Yeah, and you know, that a lot of our fans, I hope they would understand, you know, that you have to be an intelligent football player to be able to be a successful football player. Because a lot of people think that it's this all about your physicality and all that stuff. And there's strategies, I think, that if we break it down, and you just explained that how it is in the NFL. So did you have any mentors in the NFL that when you were playing?
Yeah, and there's tons. I was lucky and joined a great defensive team with the Texans in 2011. D'Amico Ryans, who, you know, is the DC for the 49ers. He kind of, and I wasn't even asking for a mentor. You know, I was not ever that guy to be like, hey, you know, I need some help, or, you know, I always tried to figure things out on my own. But D'Amico Ryans was always that guy that was just so, like, such a cool guy, and just, like, you know, always brought up the younger players, and, you know, tried to make it sound simpler, you know, like that coaches' jobs were to always try to overcomplicate things, but it was up on the players to try to simplify the verbiage and the calls, and just try to make it easy so when you're on the field, you're not, you know, looking around and your head space is all messed up, you know. So he was one of those guys, you know. Connor Barwin and Brian Cushing and all those guys were just leaders, and, you know, brought me in. So I was very lucky to come on a team that I was so, you know, widely accepted. You know, as part of this, because I never probably said anything my first year, and I just worked my butt off.
Just a quiet guy, work your ass off. Yeah. And you know, the thing is, I would tell the guys and listeners out there, if there's kids listening, understand what Brooks is saying. He's saying to be intelligent by watching film, understand the small parts of the game, and everything will come for you. You know, that's the thing that it will be for you.
Just watch film, man. You don't, you know, it's just you're if you care enough about something, you'll learn the ins and outs of everything, you know, to be successful. So
it's the little things.
Simple in that regard, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little thing.
Yeah.
Brooks, thank you so much for joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We appreciate it. We can't wait to get you back on the air again.
Brooks, thanks a lot. We appreciate you, man. Bear down.
Thank you guys very much. I heard you guys bear down. I heard you guys mention James DeBoe.
Yeah, James
this
DeBoe,
name sounds very. I felt like I put him as like a Raider Pop Warner League team or something like that.
Yes, exactly. He said that they called you Body Beautiful. That's what they used to call me.
He said as a little kid you already had a six-pack.
Yeah, you had a six-pack already at like 6 years
old. and Julian, we talked about Julius
Holt.
as well.
Julius Holt was there too.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Raiders.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That's
Brooks,
cool. Say hi to him.
I will. Thanks.
Brooks, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, he said say hi to James.
Yeah.
So we definitely will, because he's very proud of everything that you've done. Brooks, thank you so much. We'll continue with you live from Casino del Sol. I'm Rich Herrera, the captain, Kelvin Efon, Glenn Howell. Coming up, we're going to walk through the defensive scouting report here on 1290.
Bear down, Wildcats fans. This is the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290. And our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for two. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Mathurin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the hand off. Into the backfield and drop. No gain. Loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Mathurin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's hot! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the board. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down that was from mid-court. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Mathurin with the ball for the Wildcats. Mathurin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Mathurin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ballgame. Mathurin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Mathurin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Mathurin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 20.
I don't know about you, man. I'm pretty fired up next to Kelvin today. Pretty fired up sitting next to Glenn Howell today. Dude, look at the people we had on the air today. There's nothing better than what we had. Brooks
Beast.
Reed?
Yeah.
Brooks Reed on the program today. We had James DeBoe talking about just trucking people.
Yeah,
Beast.
we had some intensity on today.
Yeah.
And it ain't over yet.
I know.
Kelvin almost separated my shoulder, chipping me earlier today, and then coming up in the next hour.
Man.
Daniel Greer.
Man. You talking about chipping some people.
Yeah.
He was silent. He wasn't that loud of a guy.
No.
And you just see him. I remember we used to walk in there because Charlie was still on that staff.
For sure.
And I would come in there and I'd say, man, that dude is like
bald head.
Yeah, bald head, just
business.
Big neck, and and he was just like ripped.
And knock you on your back and then say a prayer for you.
Yeah.
One of them, a minister type of guy.
Yeah.
Just great guy, man. Yeah.
I can't wait for that coming up. All right, hey, let's talk about the defense today for the Arizona Wildcats. Time for our defensive scouting report, brought to you by Ram Plumbing.
Let's look at Arizona's defensive scouting report for today's football game.
And it's intercepted, picked off. Wildcats back with the ball the other way. They take over at the Colorado 42.
The defensive scouting report is brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double.
I just thought just flashed in front of my eyes. You two are grown men. You've got wonderful kids that you're proud of, and where you are in life is pretty amazing. We talked about all the kids that you two have helped over the years training, and you see them going on to do things. But when we were talking to Brooks, and we're talking about Greer coming up, and we're talking about DeBow, does it ever flash across your mind just daydreaming? Wouldn't it be great just to be able to hit somebody one more time with your pads? You ever think about that?
Well, I have a 9-year-old, so I get roughed up all the time. So I mean, just last night I was with my nephew's game, and he played amazing. They lost, but man, he showed some ridiculous
I saw some
fight.
of that on Twitter.
Yeah, ridiculous fight. But yeah, I get to do a little bumping and grinding with my son. But Rich, I'm gonna tell you something. When my days were over, I told myself I'm gonna give everything I got
for that.
And when it's over, I'm done.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets, sir.
I just gotta say one thing. Kelvin, you got to be able to film better, man, because that thing is just like
I
was looking for the doggone to watch this whole thing, and then I'm like, it's on the ground. It's like
you get excited.
You ain't winning no Emmy for that.
No, I got excited.
I'm like, dude, I was gonna say, dude, could you film a little bit better?
Got a little excited right there.
It's going all over the place.
He was so fast. He was like DJ Williams last week. We didn't know he had that gear. All of a sudden, boom, he runs out of the camera.
Oh yeah, no, he's a blur, man. He's one of those state champion track guys, man. So no, he ran out of my frame.
I'm like, you got to get to go to film school or something, man.
Facts.
You know what we got to do is we got to get David Kelly to go film that for us.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
DK. Yes, sir. Man.
DK's the best.
Yeah, he got that steady professional.
He and Paul Sakala, some of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the defensive scouting report as we get ready. It's brought to you by Ram Plumbing. I'm going to jump over here to cut 13. This is Johnny Nansen. We've talked a lot. About gap integrity. Glenn's favorite words, assignment and alignment. I asked Johnny Nansen this week, where's the breakdown? Because obviously we see the breakdown running with the run defense. And I said, is it pre-snap, post-snap? Is it reading and reacting, or just getting ready before the play goes? Here's Johnny Nansen.
Once they go in motion, because you got a lot of receivers that are coming across in motion, and then when they go across, it's totally a different fit and where their eyes are at. So that's the challenge we're having. And I don't want to sit in one defense. So now they're playing into their hands, you know what I mean, to try to help the kids.
So let's talk a little bit about this. Al Borges came on. I think, Kelvin, we talked about this. We talked about this on the air. His goal was, as an offensive coordinator, I want the defense to come off that first series going, Coach, that's not what we practiced all week. And I think we're getting a lot of that with Arizona right now, is they're running different formations, different sets, running away from their tendencies. And when you do that, Coach Borges said, my goal is for them to come back and question everything they've done to prepare for the game.
Yeah, no. As an offense, that's what you worry about. When the defense is doing things that you haven't seen, it makes you have to adjust. It makes you have to slow down and try to figure out who you have to block. You see the centers a lot of time, rearranging who's the middle linebackers, and then the quarterback will come up and say, "No, it's this guy over here."
Right.
So it's just that little confusion that you add when you switch that defense around. But as James DeBow said, and even Brooks Reed said, you don't want to change it too much to where the guys have to think too much, because if they're thinking, they're not reacting.
And that's what we've been hearing for the last 3 weeks, Glenn. We got to simplify this. We got to make things simpler for them. Now, Johnny Nansen said, I can't just run one defense, because then you'll pick me apart, but I got to make it a little bit simpler.
Yeah, you have to be able to react. And when you, as a player, if I have my let's just take it from the offensive side of the ball. If I put my hand in the ground and I know where I'm going 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Okay? But if I go and put my hand on the ground and I'm thinking, okay, this guy moved a little bit, I don't know, I'm going to hesitate, I might get stuffed. And that's the worst thing that you could do.
And one of the other problems that they're having is, if I have to worry about if my teammate is going to be in my gap.
Yeah, exactly.
if my teammate is going to do his job. You know, it makes you hesitate for a second before you
it
do.
Snowballs on you.
Snowballs.
Right, because we talked about that. All right, am I on the right assignment? But then you got to trust the guy next to you, because if I've got this A gap and he's got this gap over here, I got to just take care of my job. I don't know if he's going to be in my gap, out of my gap. And then if I start looking over his head, turning my head, looking at him, all of a sudden, you talked about where your eyes are. If I turn my head to the right, I'm going to get punched in the mouth from the left.
I mean, right in your mouth by some trapper coming by or a double-team block coming. You know, and as you said, I don't want to go 100 mile an hour into my gap, and you're coming the same, and we butt heads and end up getting a concussion.
Right.
I don't want to be in that situation. So, it's tough when you have a team that's still learning. Because, again, what's this, Niang? This is his, sixth game being their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and they have to be able to. I think like Brooks was saying, that they were saying that the off defensive linemen sit and watch film together.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they're doing all that stuff, watching film together, but they got to all be on the same page. It's important for them to do it.
And he was saying that extra time outside of even with the coaches. Hey, let's get over here and make sure that we understand, because we have to have ownership for this. And we understand the coaches get paid for this, but this is our legacy. This is, we're going to be known for playing for Arizona. So let's tighten up and make sure that our fellow teammate knows what to do.
Yeah, and I used to be in the tight end room and telling the guys that, we can't make mistakes. MAs are the worst. Missed assignments. Understand, it's simple stuff, man. It's like that's what you really have to, because that's where our coaches try to make it as simple as hell.
Yeah.
MAs. Should we start using that on the program? I've had a couple MAs today.
Yeah. Missed
I'm
assignments.
not perfect so far. I don't know how I'm going to grade out. I got a couple MAs, but I'm going to work hard to see if I can make it up with some effort plays before the end of the show.
There it is.
Is that fair?
There it is.
All right. See, I
Because
like
it happens.
Missed assignments.
There you go.
Don't do it twice.
Right. Everybody's allowed to make a mistake, just not making it twice.
Yep.
All right. I asked this of Jed Fish during the week. This is cut 14. Because he said, we've heard some things in the defense and we've seen them improvement. So I asked Jed, all right, so give me some specifics of things that you saw this week in practice that shows that there's going to be some progress. I'm kind of paraphrasing the question I asked him, but here's Jed Fish, cut 14.
I like to hear defensive players on the practice field. I think that's your best indication of confidence and communication. So when you go out on the practice field and you can hear the defensive players making calls and talking and being excited, and then being able to kind of indicate, like, downright, field left, you hear all the calls that occur. That communication makes a huge difference. And then when you see a play get made and then you feel the energy from the rest of the guys, that tells me that there's a nice confidence. And that's really what we're looking for. That's always easiest. Our defensive coaches will talk about the fundamentals and the assignments and the alignments. But for me, it's what I notice on our defensive side is more of, play with passion.
I like what he said, but there's one more thing that I would add. I want to hear the pads.
Yeah.
That's when I know it's going down.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they're talking about their assignments, and you can know your assignment and you can be in the right place and everything, but that doesn't mean you're going to make the play.
Yeah. And it has to be the talking and then the rally to the ball. If we see hats on the ball, let's take a little survey today and see how many hats we have on the ball when we're in this game today, and we'll talk about that on the post-game show.
And I also say this, Glenn. How many times do you have to tell those guys to back off?
Yeah.
Don't hit. This is not hidden drill. This is not live.
Yeah.
That I'm listening for that because you need the guys with a little edge, a little intensity because the worst thing ever is having to ramp a guy up to beg him to give you more effort. I'd rather be turning guys down. I want to have to say, hey, calm down. Hey, I got to sit you out the drill. Sit him out the drill. He's doing too much. I like them guys.
I had a boss once who told me I'd rather have a guy that would run through a wall, maybe the wrong wall, and it's your job to teach him which wall, as opposed to somebody who's afraid to just touch the wall.
Oh, yeah, and the person telling you, so how you want me to do it, and which way, and how to go. You're like,
no.
Man.
No.
Yeah. Well, okay, but this goes back to something that we've heard today from our two guests. There is an attitude. There is an intensity that's expected with Arizona football on the defensive side of the ball. It was set way back when with Ricky and Chuck, and you go through everybody else. There's an intensity. Why was this walk-on from Helix High School so successful at the University of Arizona?
Yeah, because he was relentless.
We're talking about Chuck Cecil.
We had to take – I'll tell you a story about Chuck. In 1983, he had to play Don Rogers for UCLA. He was on the scout team. And he kept on blitzing. He was blitzing. That's all he did. And the tight end, I won't name him. It wasn't me. He said, you come again like that again, I'm going to knock you out. And what did Chuck do? He came 100 miles an hour and knocked him out. They started fighting, and Coach Larry Smith went up to him. Cecil's helmet's all over here, and there's blood everywhere. And he's like, who is that? And then he turned out and he said, Chuck Cecil. And then Coach Smith just looked at him and said, okay. And then the next play, he came hard again. And I said, dude, this kid, and Chuck was like $160.
Well, Chuck told me when he came on his recruiting visit, they said, most important thing, stay away from Coach Smith because we don't want him to see how little you are because he's not gonna let you come out here.
Yeah, he was skinny. I mean, I was like, man. And that's when I was playing guard. So he was coming on a tight end. That's what Don Rogers used to come from the outside. And that's the intensity that we need to have. That's the kind of guy we had to tell him to dial him down.
Kelvin?
Yeah, man. I got so many of them stories, and I was the guy you had to dial down.
Right.
Yeah. I took practice serious. Had some, really physical with guys in practice because I was trying to get myself ready for the actual game. So again, love the guys that you have to turn down because those guys are the ones that's going to be there on the game day, being the same way.
Listen, I'm just riding your coattails for the two of you. And I'm as a sports talk show host, I think I know everything. We've talked about this. I could talk about everything in the world except for standing there when the line is
with the hand in the dirt. Yeah.
Like I told you, I there's been a couple times in my life I've gotten as close as you can get. Like the one time I wasn't paying attention, I was in the bullpen in Tampa Bay, and I was standing in the way, and I think I was talking on my phone, and they were like, "Hey, tell him to get his ass out of the way."
Right.
And I'm still standing there, to heck with him, and they start throwing, and all of a sudden, I hear what a baseball throwing 100 miles an hour sounds like right behind my head. Holy cow, right?
Another level.
The other day, I went to practice for basketball, and I stood there on the baseline. I'd never been that close before. I didn't realize how small that court is when you've got men that big and that fast and that strong. You sit up in the stands at McHale, it looks like there's plenty of real estate. You stand down there, I felt like I was in a 1-foot box with a bunch of people running as fast as they can.
Like you're in a telephone booth.
Yeah, exactly. I stood in the sideline. I've never been able to be on the field that close, but I've stood in the sideline. There's a certain intensity that I want, a certain intensity that I need. So the reason I bring all this up, there's this old adage, and I say it on the radio all the time, but I'll ask you guys right now as we have this conversation. The old adage is, you practice like you play.
Yes.
1,000%.
100%.
1,000%. That's how every player got their position.
Yeah,
you took your position from your effort at practice, showing something that was another level. Why you ended up starting over the guy. So why would you? Like I'm telling you, when Coach Tomey wanted to dial down the practice, you can ask any of the guys. I was the guy. Like no way.
Yeah.
We got to have a real practice because we don't. That feeling of losing a game and feeling like you didn't do what you do.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling
our
ever.
hardest practices were after we lost, and sometimes we have really hard practice after we won.
That's what I tried to do. That's how we went 12-1.
Yeah,
that's how we went 12-1.
Okay,
and it's like you got to be able to be physical and understand that.
So the next step of that is, on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's pretty apparent there's not enough dudes. Arizona did a great job recruiting offensively this season. Oh, they better get after it defensively and find players. When you have as many – okay, so let's go back to your teams, right? You guys had depth.
Yeah.
Were there ever times where your practice was more intense and more difficult than the game was because you had guys who were fighting for positions?
Yeah. When I played, we had guys like George Hinkle who played Like, he played like 5 years in the NFL. He was on our scout. We had our scout team. We had Val Pachekis. We had freaking George Hinkle. We had the Singleton brothers was on our scout team.
On the scout team.
On the scout team.
Yes.
These are guys that were, like, on the scout team, man. And those guys were NFL players.
Yeah.
I mean, we had guys like that.
Kelvin Trung's your brother.
Right.
But what happens if you ever let up?
Oh, man, if I let up, I wasn't going to be on the field.
Right.
I mean, you were not going to be on the field.
How much did you push Trung?
It's the same. And then you had Leon Callen behind me. You had Jay Hinton. I mean, it was just so many guys. You wanted to do whatever it took to keep your position. And number one, you just didn't want to let the guys down. It was more so about that.
Right.
Doing your job and not letting down your brother. Because you got an opportunity, and what you did with that opportunity is what it was really about. You got your grade for every play that you played.
Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. All right, coming up on the pregame show, we got another hour to go before we turn it over to Brian Jeffries and the crew from Learfield to take us up to the 2:30 kick. Again, 2:30. We'll be on with you right after the ball game with telephone calls, highlights. Don't forget, you can also watch us on YouTube at Wildcats1290.com. Wildcatsradio1290.com. YouTube, our channel is at Wildcats1290. Coming up, we're going to look for our pest of the game, talk about a couple different positions that we're going to discuss for today's ball game, and Captain's Corner. Captain's Corner.
Yes, sir.
I can see, Glenn, you notice he's kind of getting into it, right? You can see he's getting closer to the pinnacle of the show. All that coming up as we come to you live from Casino del Sol, inside Soul Sports. Come by, join us as well. We'll be with you up until 1 o'clock as we get you ready for football. Arizona taking on Washington. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's the This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Mathurin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for two. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Mathurin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
Fourth down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step to handoff. Into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Mathurin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
Fourth down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on fourth down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the board. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his third foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down. That was from midcourt. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ball game. Matherin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's
tied.
A huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley, the running back. Receiver either side. 2 tight ends. Oregon, 5-man front. They shift. Play fake, rolling right. McLeod looking to throw. Going deep. Down, trying to find Berryhill. Makes the catch inside the 25-yard line. Still loose inside the 15. First down, Arizona.
What a play by McLeod. He was smacked, but he had the presence of mind to know where Berryhill was. He threw the ball. He underthrew the ball, and Berryhill was looking back at it and made a great play on the ball. An amazing play by Jordan McLeod.
Brown will take the snap a yard deep in the end zone. Straight back to throw. Has some time. Steps into the pocket. The Wildcats have got him for a safety. Second safety Arizona has recorded this season. It's a 24-12 ball game, and the Cats will get the ball.
That's big
Fully
time.
on the field is a safety.
Yes, that's big time by Arizona. That time defense did a great job of just closing the pocket from the inside, and then the pressure on the outside by Abear, they just got him. They just got there. They won their blocks that time. Excellent job by Arizona.
Read.com.
Circles on the roster go, I can't let this guy beat me.
I always give you 2, one on offense, one on defense. The first one is a guy that remind me of those Mississippi State guys, and that wasn't a good day for us there. Is that big fella, Jeremiah Martin, 6'4", 270, grown man, senior, been around there for a while. Guys like that worry me. He's been effective in the Pac-12 for years, so it's a guy that we have to neutralize. The other guy is Michael Penix Jr. I mean, the quarterback over there, man, this guy has brought some winning back to this program, and he is a winner, and he's a guy that I think we're going to have to keep in check.
So interesting as he transfers in. This is a great quarterback conference this year. Yeah. You've got him coming into Washington. Cam Ward had so much hype coming in. You had Cam Rising over at Utah. Jane Delores certainly has put up some big numbers. You got Caleb Williams. You've got DTR, who, I'm sorry, I'm starting to think about him for Heisman right now. So many great quarterbacks, but Penix has been so good in this Kalen DeBoer offense, so accurate. Arizona's going to have to get him off of his spot.
Yeah, that was my took my point.
You're right.
Because
see, look how smart I'm getting.
If we can make him run around and make throws, then we're going to be. I think we could have a chance to really win this game. But if he sits back there and has a cup of coffee and picks his receivers out, we're going to have a problem
Hunter
today.
Echols has to have a big game putting pressure on him.
Yeah, we have to have some edge rushing. I think Penix is going to be our pest of the game. Our pest of the game. My pest of the game is him, because if we can get him rattled, I think we have a good chance.
All right, that's the pest of the game, brought to you by University Pest Control.
That's our Pest of the Game, brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. BePestFree.com. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, coming up with the program, we are going to Daniel Greer, all Pac-12 first team defensive tackle, a guy who would just lay people out, a guy who would just bring it.
Yeah, man, just bring it. Every game, you can always depend on him to be the monster right there in the middle. Usually it's the middle linebacker, but for us and the defenses that we played, the defensive lineman was just so important.
Teammate of yours.
Teammate, man. I mean, a brother of mine, another one, man. You know, we all came here at the same time. I was in basketball at the time. Here's a fun fact. He was the MVP on the basketball team at North Salinas with 6'11" Donnell Harris on the same team.
North Salinas High School, one of the greatest institutions of post. No, I don't know what.
Where is that at?
Salinas, California, my hometown.
Salinas.
We went to the same high school. That's Cali right there.
Yes, sir.
Central Coast section, Glenn.
Yeah.
Central Coast section.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Central Coast section had Sarah, had St. Francis. There were some big boys in that Central Coast section that you'd have to play.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Come on, man.
Right? I know. You had De La Salle and all the rest
you had Hayward High.
You had Hayward High. I got all that.
McClymonds, Skyline.
Okay.
Oakland.
See, listen, now we're just going to keep going. And then Kelvin's just going to look at us. Gentlemen, let me tell you what high school football's really like in Texas. All right, he's joining us coming up here in just a moment, and then we're going to get to the keys to the game. All of that coming up. I'm excited. Arizona taking on Washington. I called it this week on the radio. This is a winnable game for the Cats. This is one of those Pac-12 games where nobody's going to give the Cats any opportunity. Winnable game for the Cats. We'll talk about that coming up. We are live. Consider the Soul coming up next. Daniel Greer joins us on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bear down, Wildcats fans. This is the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Window Depot is proud to sponsor the first look at today's game and would like to invite Arizona Wildcat fans to visit one of their Tucson warehouses. The Window Depot provides over 1,000 in-stock vinyl windows, interior and exterior doors, plus granite and quartz countertops, and a huge selection of custom cabinetry, all at the lowest prices in town. Consider the Window Depot your MVP when it comes to your home improvement needs. Stores are open Monday through Saturday, or order online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
As a homeowner, you've probably seen some pretty bad plumbing problems.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
We've seen them all.
All of them?
Rams Plumbing kept entire buildings flowing. Businesses since 1983.
Wow, so whatever happens to my house...
We've seen it before, and we have the solution. Locally owned and operated, Ram Plumbing is Tucson's most trusted plumber. Our team of licensed professionals can fix anything your home can dish out. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Buy a new Buick or GMC and make no payments until the new year. Wait, what? That's right. At Royal Buick GMC, you can drive home a new car and make no payments until January 2023. Save over $4,000 off the family-friendly in-stock 23 Buick Enclave. Or save up to $7,000 off in-stock 22 GMC Sierra 1500 crew cabs, now starting at only $35,805. And remember, at Royal, you pay no market adjustments. You won't pay more when inventory is limited. So head over to Royal Buick GMC and pick out your new car, truck, or SUV, and then enjoy driving around Tucson payment-free until the new year. Enclave stock number B33264, Sierra stock number G6833. All offers OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 dock fee. Offers end 10/31/22. See dealer for details. No payments until the new year at Royal Buick GMC in the Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Hey Kev, the client needs that document ASAP.
I'm trying, but the internet is so slow. And now it isn't working at all.
Is your internet provider holding business back? Switch to one who keeps you moving forward. At Cox Business, we know how crucial connectivity is to your success. That's why we give you peace of mind with 99.9% network reliability and 24/7 support. Visit coxbusiness.com for details. All services subject to Cox Business general terms.
I want you to want
Get ready for a musical institution. Cheap Trick, live, Friday, December 9th, 8 p.m., Diamond Center at Desert Diamond Casino Cerrita. Cheap Trick in an unforgettable performance.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for two. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we continue with you here at Wildcats Radio 1290. Rich Herrera with you. Glenn Howell and the Captain Kelvin Ephon. It's time to turn it over to the Captain's Corner. We run out to our guest hotline. Joining us right now, the pride of the North Salinas High School Vikings of the Central Coast section of California. Pac-12 all-first team. Daniel Greer joining us in the Captain's Corner today.
Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Here is the captain, Kelvin Ephon.
D Greer. What's up with you, brother? Mr. All Pac-10, Mr. Stability, Mr. just took care of the whole middle. That senior leadership over on that defense, man. That 12-1 champion.
Man.
That guy, man. How you doing? Yeah, how you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just sitting over here. Just kind of reminiscing. I appreciate the call, man. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How's Tucson doing?
Oh, man, it's pretty good down here, man. You know, it's always nice weather. You know how it is down here. First thing I'm going to ask you, man, what have you been up to these days, man? What you been up to, D-Grit?
So right now, I'm at the fire station. I'm a firefighter for the city of Boulder. Right. I'm over here on 2516. That's our ladder truck, our tower. And just got finished doing some training and just sitting outside looking at the truck as we speak.
Oh, man, that's great, man.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and it was talking, and, we got Barrett Baker, you got Todd Thompson. We have a few guys, even here in Tucson, that are firefighters. And so
yeah. Firefighting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, firefighting, yeah. I thought it was the easiest thing to kind of, after football, you kind of think about some of the things that you want to get into. And firefighting is just something that, I don't know, I still get to kind of throw some ladders around. It's kind of like throwing some old linemen around.
Right.
I get to be with the public and, and kind of just do my service there. And I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work, so yes, I can't complain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you were recruited here by Coach Ellison. Tell us a little bit about how did that happen. How did they find you in the middle of nowhere, North Salinas? Where's that?
For real, right?
Yeah.
Middle of all those lettuce fields.
Yeah, Salinas.
Lettuce and everything.
So Salinas is kind of like up there, not too far from Seaside, which is that whole area. You got Seaside, you got Monterey, you got Pebble Beach, and Salinas is kind of off in the corner over there. It's kind of agricultural place of, I guess, the United States. But I was getting recruited by quite a lot of people. It was actually the way that it all happened is do you guys know who Darnell Harris is?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, okay.
A national champion.
So it was me, Yeah, it was me, Darnell Harris, and there was a couple of guys that I ran track with. Was named Alvin and Calvin Harrison, and they were out of Salinas, California too. And we all ran, me, myself, and Alvin and Calvin Harrison, and Alvin and Calvin and Darnell Harris. We made a pact to kind of go to the same school to represent Salinas at the time, and I believe Darnell signed first. And then I signed, and it was up to Alvin and Calvin, but they ended up going pro and running the Olympics a few years later. Wow. And that's how it all happened. And also, Arizona was Desert Swarm, and I couldn't resist that. I couldn't resist it.
Man, so tell me a story about Coach Tomey, man. I know how important Coach Tomey was to all of us. I know you got a story.
Man.
I know you got something in there in the vault about. I know you got a whole bunch of stuff, but give me one story, that tells us about Coach Tomey.
Coach Tomey. Oh man, there's so much I could say, but I would just say the number one thing that I like about Coach Tomey the most is Coach Tomey allowed us to be men. And he gave us a chance for our soul to speak on the field. And Coach Tomey he allowed us, he coached us up to be young men. He always talked about family first. He always talked about being a man first. He always talked about putting your fellow teammate first. If you do your link, the rest of the link will do their link. And by him just saying that, it just gave you a sense of pride and a sense of a wholeness to go out there and do your job. If you do your job, I got to trust that, K gonna do his job and run the ball, and then Joe's gonna do his side. He gonna do the left side, and then Brewski, he's gonna do what he do. Chris McAllister gonna do what he do, and everybody does what they do, because I've done my link. I've done my link in the service.
Yes, sir. I was going to ask you, I said, so is that – I was going to ask you, what did you think was the reason why we had so much success on that 12-1 team? And it sounds like that, what you just said.
Yeah, I think the reason why we had so much success is, one, as a defense, Coach Ellerson instilled in us that we must swarm to the ball. That was Mando. That was mandatory. And by doing that, it just gave us an identity, it gave us a purpose, and it just gave us the opportunity to go out there and smash people. And I mean, when your defensive coordinator, your D-line coach says, "Hey, these are our expectations. Our expectations is to stop the run first and foremost." That's all as a defense that we heard. First of all, stop the run. So when you go out to stop the run, everything else comes. I mean, man, we just pin our ears back waiting for you to pass.
Right.
And stopping the run, I mean, yeah, stop the run. So it just gave us an identity to go out there and do what we got to do.
So I think Arizona is a place where you're not necessarily getting the big 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits, but you're getting guys, tough guys. I felt like our identity was defense, always was defense, but it was, tough and aggressive. What did you think the formula, how do you think Coach Tomey found guys and Coach Ellison found guys like you? I mean, you was 230 pounds coming here. How could they see you being a 275-pound defensive tackle?
Well, man, wow, that's a lot. Well, I think originally I wanted to kind of go to Texas A&M, but it didn't work out like that. And then some of the other schools kind of recruited, and then Coach Tomey came to my house, and growing up in Salinas, I didn't have much. I was raised by my mom and my dad. They were separated, but just Coach Tomey coming to my house, sitting on my couch, and Coach Ellerson, there was something there, and he just said, "Hey, why don't you come here?" And at the time when I took my recruiting trip up there, I was with Thomas Demps, and I just felt home, and it was just something about meeting the rest of the guys. Like, these guys are players too, you know what I mean? And we did not necessarily want to go to USC. because it maybe had been too close, or UCLA was just too much, too close in the backyard. I remember for me, I wanted to move just far enough away to be able to kind of be a man, and then it was just, we just played. And I originally played tailback in high school, and then I got there and I was like, man, I like hunting. I like to hunt, and this is a great program where you can go hunt. So I put on my list to hunt some quarterbacks.
Man, that's beautiful right there. I'll ask you this right here. What do you think about the D-line right now that you're seeing? What do you think about the defense? And what are some of the things that you think that, we did back in the day with our defenses that could help these guys?
I think if these guys just, they got to have a love to pursue the ball. And if they have a love to pursue the ball and they want, you're asking me that question, I always think of the double eagle flex.
Right.
To this day, I think if we install it with the right characters in the right group, that it can be successful. But that's just me. Open whip eagle is a chance to get after the quarterback. But I'm going a little too in depth. I just think if they have a love and a passion to swarm to the ball, let's bring that back. Let's bring back everybody's accountable for getting in the picture frame of getting to the ball. And if that can be accomplished, that's just the heart of hunting. You know what I mean? If you get in the picture frame, you have a chance to hunt. You get a chance to eat off that quarterback. You get a chance to eat off that tailback. You get a chance to eat off that receiver. And if that can be installed of, hey, this is our bread and meat, we're going to eat if we hunt to the ball. I think that's the first thing.
Daniel Greer joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Daniel Greer, our special guest for the Captain's Corner. But, Captain, can I jump in here? Because I'm chomping at the bit to talk to one of my fellow Vikings. Daniel, I went to North High a little bit before you, but North Salinas High School has a long history of good football players. You mentioned Texas A&M. Anthony Tony, North High, went to Texas A&M. Del Rogers, yourself. There's been a few players, Tony Teresa, all came out of North High and went on and played beyond in Salinas against the Salinas High Vikings. Yes.
Yeah. I just love football. You know what I mean? I just love football. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm kind of chopped up here because you actually got me thinking about a lot right now. You took me back to high school, but yeah, I just love football,
And how many times you get to talk to another person from North Salinas?
Right, because I told the fellas that Chuck Narayan, he's a little bit before he was my coach, and I went back and I saw him, and he goes, let me tell you something. We've had a lot of players that have come over here that were really good. We had some players that weren't so great, but they had good attitudes and work ethic. But I've never had anybody in the history of this program that had a lack of athletic ability and a poor attitude like you, Herrera. I don't know how in the world you're in jail right now. So you're one of the ones that they would brag on. I was one of the ones they'd shake their head like, lucky that guy's not in jail right now. But the reason I bring all this up is I got to ask you. So it's North Salinas High School. It's like the Territorial Cup. The two schools are next to each other. We had to play our home football games at Salinas High inside that little bowl. You remember, right? That intensity. All year long, we thought about beating the Cowboys. We saw somebody wearing purple and gold. They were instantly our enemy. That's where Daniel learned all this stuff. I got to ask you a question. We talk about this quite a bit on the program. Territorial Cup's coming up. We're going to get you on to talk about that. Kelvin, I want to ask you about a play in the Territorial Cup. Kelvin, you don't mind, do you?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. There's all these plays at Territorial Cup that people remember, and whether it's Chuck Cecil running down the field with that pick, but you were involved in one of those plays and involved my friend Kelvin over here. Do you remember the play where you got absolutely cheap-shotted and Kelvin came on the field, shot out of a cannon? I want to hear your version of what you remember from that play.
Oh man, it's funny you say that. I could have a lot because it's funny you say that. Jake Plummer lives out here in Boulder, and we've talked about that. But what I remember from that is, man, I just remember man, peeling off and, like I said, going back to defense, we were designed. That's what coaches designed us to do, is to go after the quarterback once the pick is, picked off. And I was coming around, and all of a sudden, I just got blindsided, and I was out. I was off my feet, and I just remember praying because I knew something was wrong with my leg, and I was just down on the ground, and I actually remember my wife just holding my hand and saying, "Dan, it's going to be okay." And then I just heard my brothers around me, and that is something. You're giving me the chill bumps.
Man.
When your teammate is willing to sacrifice just as much as you put in, and you can feel that, you don't even have to look up. I just felt it. I don't know if I can really articulate that in words. You can feel it. You can feel when somebody loves you. You can feel when somebody betrays you. But you can also feel when somebody is working out with you and they're not right there, but you can feel their energy. I felt their energy.
Wow. And by the way, for everybody to know, so the play was an interception. As you're peeling out from there looking for the quarterback, you're standing there. Some guy comes, just trucks you from behind, cheap shots you, and all of a sudden, some guy who came over from the basketball team, just joining the football team, comes over there and trucks them. And this adds to the legend and the lore of the Territorial Cup, just like we were talking about North Salinas and Salinas High School, that intensity. This adds to that lore of Kelvin going over there defending you. And I don't want to embarrass you, Kelvin, but you went over there because it's the right thing to do. Like he said, your brother.
Yeah, I'm watching the play unfold, and all I just see a guy just come out of nowhere. We're running a touchdown, and we're happy because they're killing us.
Right.
So we're happy that, okay, Mikael Smith got an interception. Okay, we're showing some fight, right? And
the
next thing you know, you see this cheap shot. I mean, and I see Coach Tomey going crazy, and I just see this guy running, acting like it's funny, So I just take off running, and I didn't know what I was going to do when I got there. But I knew that I was going to do something, and I dove and I hit him in his back. He's a big guy. He fell down. He got up and he turned around and looked at me, and, it didn't go any farther than that. But, I just wanted him to know, and I wanted everybody to know, no, it was you, man, and you lucky we went somewhere else. You lucky we went somewhere else.
We were in the street, man.
It worked. And you see that attitude? You see what you're bringing up in Calvin Evon? He didn't care about if he was an O lineman, a D line. It didn't matter. It was my brother.
Any of that. Get suspended. None of that mattered.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Daniel, what's that mean to you?
What
does that mean to the club, to the team, when Kelvin makes a statement like that?
Oh man, I don't. It's too long to even articulate on this phone in this phone call. Brotherhood and everything that Calvin is talking about. I don't. You have to. We went through a lot, man. I could and building a brotherhood and accountability. I mean, how many other jobs are you going to work in life where you can really look over your shoulder and say, it doesn't matter what he did. He's my brother. It's like you get what I'm saying. That's my brother, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But I'm going to protect him at all costs. Yeah. Anything necessary, I'm going to protect him.
Yeah, and I think, Daniel, this is Glenn Howe, and I just think that.
How you doing, Glenn?
I'm doing good.
You were on the sideline.
Yeah, I was on the sideline
right?
for that one because Coach Dickey was my roommate, and
man,
that's my guy. Coach Dickey, he was at my wedding. I talked to him weekly, and he was just crazy about that play because he hated ASU. But I think that created the nucleus of that 12-1 team. That was the growing of what grew that team into a solid formation of football players that live for each other. And I think that's when it's really started.
Yeah, and see, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't know if I just don't know. I don't know that team. I'm not that down there right now to see this 2022 team. You know what I'm saying? Do they have that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they got it. I don't know. And I don't – Coach Tomey had a way, about getting the soul to play. And if you were to ask me a question about this current team, I would ask the question back: does their soul like to hunt?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does their soul like to hunt? Is it with much is required, right?
Hey.
So with that being said, are they hunters? I can go down the list on the defensive side. Deshaun Polk was a hunter.
Yeah, fact.
You get what I'm saying? I can call Deshaun right now.
Yeah.
Marcus Bell was a hunter. You get what I'm saying? Chris McAllister was a hunter. Yeah, Tafoya was a hunter.
Kevin Hunter.
I could keep going on down the list. Greg Payne Jr. was a hunter.
Man, all day.
You know?
All day. You know what? This week
Go
here reminds me of Washington. Remember we went up there and beat Washington?
Oh,
Give me a memory. Give me a memory from that game. One of mine was, I remember when we lost to Oregon, and Coach Tomey, they were feeding and getting us everything. He said, "You guys deserve beans, right?"
Yeah.
And I remember not wanting that feeling again, because Coach Tomey loved you.
Yeah.
But when he got on you, right? And so
you did.
I remember being up at University of Washington, man, when OJ did the leap by the lake. But it was so much more to that game, even though that was the most important play to win the game at the end of the day. Tell me something about that game that you remember. Because right now these guys are going into the same type of environment, the little rainy weather, the little mystique of, Washington Huskies and, all that. They're playing against the Cats. Tell us a little bit about, how that game went.
That game was tough. I remember that game was tough. I remember, obviously I remember the flip, but I remember it being really cold, kind of rainy, and playing on turf, you can be, if you don't have the right cleats, you're kind of messed up. But I remember I had the right cleats, and I just remember, gosh, I want to say their O-linemen, because at the time Washington had a pretty good O-line, and those guys were coming off the ball. But I just remember, I remember being held accountable. You know what I mean, by my teammates and my players. That hey, we're gonna do what we have to do in order to win this game. And I say it to myself now that I'm older, with much is required. And in that, I knew that it was required out of me to make a play, to make plays, and to hold my brothers accountable. So, I can't remember any specific play, but because it's been, how long has it been now? Almost 24 years?
Don't do that.
Just the other day.
Don't do that.
Yeah. You think it's 24 years. It's like 40 years with me, man.
But what I was going to say, though, but what you said, though, the leadership that you have for Keone Frazier right there, he's a freshman. With Anthony Thompson. What was he, Thomas? He was like, sophomore? Or was he a freshman too?
Yeah. Gosh, Lee, man. See, you're making me
young guys.
You're making me
he
reach.
Was the only senior. He was a young guy. And he was the leader for those guys, and those guys made huge plays in that game as well.
Yeah,
but I remember what Coach Tomey used to say. And he said that the Buffalo Soldiers, every time that they wanted the Buffalo Soldiers to carry the flag, they would carry the flag, and the next guy, he would get, killed, and the next guy would pick up the flag and keep carrying it, and they wasn't even American citizens yet. And Coach Tomey said, who's going to pick up the flag?
Yeah, I like
that. Who's going to pick up the flag? Man, that's goosebumps coming on me right now,
God.
Rich. That's the type of stuff Coach Tomey would do.
Yeah,
that's the type of stuff. He said, "Who's gonna pick?" Imagine that, though, because it had double meaning for us. Because we, Buffalo Soldiers, right?
Yeah.
And now we're in this battle, and he's like, "Who's gonna pick up their brother? Who's gonna make the play? Who's gonna be who?" Coach Tomey, man, like he used to think of stuff like that to motivate you. When I tell you that had me so pumped up, I wanted to pick up the flag.
I'm ready for you to go right now.
I want to pick up the flag.
Wow.
I want to pick up the flag.
Man. Yeah, and
that's awesome.
Man, and it's funny what you. Yes, go ahead.
Please.
No, I just think it's funny you say pick up the flag, and I know this. I'll just say what I say. You can draw the concurrence to however you're going to say it. I think it's important not only for our team right now to pick up the flag before our nation to pick up the flag. And if everybody can pick up the flag and whatever you're doing, whether it's me being on this fire truck, whether it's you being a father, you being a husband, at some point you have to pick up the flag and you have to lead. And that's what Coach Tomey taught us. And, guys, you get me teared up, guys. He wanted us to be men.
I'm crying.
I am right now. I am as well.
I'm like, damn.
We have to do this again, Daniel. We have to do this again.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of speechless right now, and that doesn't happen very often. I'm proud that you and I went to the same high school. I know. Now I'm getting choked up. I know you two are proud that he's a fellow Wildcat.
Yes, sir. Man, that's my brother, man. You see the type of people. Yeah. You notice when we're doing this, that's why I love this, because we get a chance to bring people on the show how much we love the program and we love each other. You know, you get a chance to see that, and a lot of times you don't get a chance to see that, man.
We are the program.
Man, there you go. We have tradition.
Yes.
I hate when our tradition get questioned. Our tradition is brotherhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our tradition, the soul of our brotherhood.
And it crosses all different eras.
Oh,
man.
my goodness.
Nationalities.
Yeah. And see, that one of the things I'm looking for right now, I'm looking for, if I had to address the team, I'm looking for every man, woman, and child that's in Tucson and across the country and everywhere. Who wants to pick up the flag to make Arizona great again?
Yep.
Who's willing to pick up the flag?
Man.
You get what I'm saying? I know there's former players, there's former coaches out there, there's everybody, but who wants to pick up the Wildcat, red, white, and blue? Who wants to pick that up again?
Who remember Coach Tomey?
You know what I'm saying? That's a question.
Remember Coach Tomey used to say who have to have it. Everybody want it, but who have to have it?
Yeah.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be number one.
There's a difference.
But who has to have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and it's just like being a father. It's just like being a husband. There's a difference between what you want and what you need.
Man.
Who's gonna make play? That's
we needed to be number one.
Yeah.
Who's going to pick up the flag?
So.
Daniel Greer.
Yeah, Daniel, this is great, man.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing all of
this.
Hey,
thank you, gentlemen.
And we're going to do this again real soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
All right, appreciate you, man. Love you, bro.
Have a blessed day.
Man.
Bear down. Wow.
Bear down.
All
right, bear down.
Bear down.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I don't even know what to say after that, man.
Yeah.
That's
real.
That doesn't hit you right
take
here.
off my glasses,
yeah.
man. That's it.
Thank you, Kelvin.
And this, you know, I mean, and this is in us.
Yeah.
It's in us from, that's like I said, 25, 24 years ago, and you still feel that passion because it's real. Like, you have real life lessons on these teams. I mean, again, Rich, you're dealing with people from so many different cultures, and you're learning about all these people and little things like pick up the flag, bring you together. Coach just even having it, the wherewithal to be able to tell us that story. I had never heard that story.
Right.
I was a college student, and I had never heard that story. And the Buffalo Soldiers is in Sierra Vista, right down in Sierra Vista, down there at the Army base, you know, and not even Fort Huachuca, not even knowing that that's how it originally came about. And then Coach Tomey give you that history and give you that knowledge, man. It's just nothing like it, man.
All right, I know we're way over time, but I got to ask you this. How does this make you feel about being part of that Dick Tomey legacy when you talk to Daniel Greer?
Man, it makes me feel great, but it's not just Dick Tomey, man. I mean, I think about all the coaches that were here. I think about all the guys, man.
You know, talking about Charlie Dick.
Yeah, Charlie Dick. You know, Coach Tomey is the guy that
Rich
was
Ellerson.
my guy, but it's what it is to be an Arizona coach.
Jim Young, Larry Smith, all these coaches have left their DNA and their fingerprints on this program. All right, we're way over time. We got to get to the keys to the game. That's coming up next year on 1290.
Bear down, Wildcats. This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, handed to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for two. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step to hand off. Into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's hot! Touchdown, Arizona! Oh, did they need that? My goodness, Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the field. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like one driving down that was from mid-court. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko. Feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline. Circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot. 16 left in the ballgame. Matherin, 3 balls straight away. Good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under Cindy.
Brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Kelvin's smiling. Look at the smile on Kelvin's face as we're watching Tennessee punch the ball in against Alabama.
And they could have finessed it. They could have finessed, but they didn't want to finesse it. You're trying to make a statement.
That's a statement on both sides. Huge gaping hole. 3 defenders come in here. He meets 3 defenders in the goal line. Bam, pops it in.
It's called an attitude play.
Yeah.
You have to have an attitude play to show Alabama. You will never beat an Alabama team just thinking that you can finesse them.
Yeah.
You have to punch them in their mouth over and over again. You can't just punch them once. You got to punch them in their mouth over and over again until they give in.
Okay, can't get cute.
Yeah. We're a little behind, so I want to get to everything before we get ready to send it over to Brian Jeffries. So let's get right now immediately to our keys to the game. They're brought to you by Royal Automotive.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Glenn, why don't you go first?
My keys to the game is that we got to be able to make a decision on defense. We're not going to let people try to run the ball on us and be offended. I want to have an attitude of being offended by people running the ball. And like Daniel was saying, Daniel Greer was saying, we got to get all the hats on the ball. Are we going to pursue the ball? Second key to the game is what are we going to do on offense to move the chains? Are we going to take that bait of, oh, their secondary's not that good, they're bad against their, are we going to move the chains? Are we going to get Delora in rhythm with short passes and then get him, then we can go deep. Bring him in, run the ball. We have to run the ball, win on first and second down. I've been saying it it's a repeat, win first and second down, understand, shorten the game, and don't let them have the ball.
Kevin, what do you got for your keys to the game?
Man, first and foremost, man, when you're going up to Seattle and you're dealing with the weather and everything, first and foremost, taking care of the ball. You're watching for fumbles, interceptions with tip balls, wet balls. I think you have to watch out for that. Secondly, in the special teams game, I think it's going to be important to be solid in the special teams game because in tough games like this, those little plays end up being huge plays. And then again, you're going to get tired of me, but you have DJ Williams, you have Jonah Coleman, 225 pounds each. Let's wear those guys out by running those guys and making them have to respect them. That way that we can get those guys out there on the outside that ball.
All right, mine real quick. Jaden has to be the best Jaden he could be. Play under control, chuck the ball down the field, but play under control. Those are today's keys to the game, brought to you by Royal Automotive.
Our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different. The dealership that is different. Tucson, what are today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of the best bets in football this weekend. Today's best bets are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, fellas, let's get after it. 14.5. Washington is a favorite. Make your call. Does Arizona, do you put money on Arizona today?
Not me today. No, not today. I think that Washington is a little angry coming off that Arizona State loss. They were 4-1, so it's going to be tough to beat them back at home.
Yeah, I think so too. Arizona State put a damper on our ability to win because they're going to be a little bit pissed off.
That's what Kelvin always
home.
says. I want you playing at your best. I don't want to play.
I hate they lost.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take that one.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to go 14.5. I said this is a winnable game. Jed, let her go. Let her rip. Get into the track meet. You can outscore these guys. That's how bad their secondary is. So I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid. The rat poison, as I've been pointing out.
He's going to take it.
I'm taking the rat poison. We'll see if I cash a ticket. And that's today's look at the spread of the game.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, guys, before we get out of here, it's a huge weekend up in Seattle. You've got playoff baseball with the Mariners. You got the new hockey team, the Kraken, with their home opener. You've got the Seahawks playing up there, and you have UW and Arizona playing up there. Johnny Nansen and Brendan Carroll were asked about this huge sports weekend in Seattle. There's so much energy in the Emerald City right there. Here's Cut 21, Carroll and Nansen both speaking about the huge week in Seattle.
Fun. It's a fun stadium to play in, and the crowd gets into it, So, a lot of our guys have never played there, so, it should be exciting to get down there and play in that stadium.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue out there on the lake, Lake Washington. Got to spend a lot of time up there in Seattle, so it'll be good to go back home. For my kids, that's where they kind of grew up. So they get to go see. They're there now. Actually, they went early to go see their friends. They got a week off of school, so it's cool for them. So I'll have some family up there too. So that'll be great.
Man, one thing that's so fun about playing in that stadium is when you come down the tunnel They have all the Rose Bowls and all the things that they've done, and they be barking.
Yep.
They be barking when you coming out of it, and I love shutting them up.
Yeah, I love playing there. That was we played them when they were number 1 in the country, and it was a great thing to play there. But today it's going to actually be sunny. So it's going to be.
It's raining here. It's going to be sunny there.
It's going to be
Arizona
sunny
day.
there. So it's going to be. We brought our weather up there. It's going to be nice and clear. No chance of rain.
Shock the world.
Yeah,
why not
maybe
Arizona?
we got a little different here.
Yeah, absolutely. Final thoughts. We got about a minute here.
I just think that I just hope we don't take the bait. We got to be strategic in this game, man. And we're going to really see how Jed Fish really strategically goes and attacks. I'm interested to see how he attacks this defense.
Man, I keep just thinking about the conversation with Daniel Greer, man, and we had on the phone as well about soul. I'm just looking for players so I can see that soul. I always told you about watching Arizona football. I look for the physicality. I look for guys being aggressive and just playing with their heart out on the field. So I'm looking for that soul. That's the biggest thing that's in my mind right now. Just looking out there to see people playing with passion.
Because both of you have passion for this program. And maybe you came in with a different set of passion, but the shared experiences that you had playing in different eras is part of the mystique of Arizona football. I always tell people it takes someone special to live here in Tucson. It's not built for everybody. Our summers will wilt you and push you away. Our dry winters will make life uncomfortable for you. So you have to have a little bit of an attitude. You have to have a lot of heart to live here. But that's Arizona football.
That's Arizona football. I mean, in a nutshell, man, things ain't quite how you want them to be, but you make them lovely. You make them, what do you say? You take something that ain't good and you make it great. Let's say that.
And Winnie makes it a lot easier. I'm telling you.
That's it.
Winnie makes it a lot easier.
Hey, a special shout-out to J.W. Madden, our producer, and Nate Dogg Rady, who ran the show this morning. Hey, standing ovation. You get a game ball for today.
A new old guy.
Exactly. Hey, that's going to do it for our pregame show. We turn it over to Brian Jeffries and Learfield crew. We'll be along with you after the ball game. Great job today. Great job, guys. Thank you so much. We'll continue with you. Coming up next, our network pregame show. Then we'll be back afterwards right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you in part by. This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th.